It's the same size shape.
Oh no.
Welcome to D&D.
That's an interesting way of saying welcome to D&D.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was a battery you were showing.
There's the battery for the hearing aids.
Yes. Hi, mercury tablets.
Because all I saw was something in your finger.
Yeah,
and I'd actually
I
seen what
couldn't
it was.
hold it out without dropping it, and I really didn't want to risk dropping it.
Yes.
So, returning back to the game. Welcome to session 84.
Back to the real world.
People with hearing aid problems.
And today I'll get Jeremy to introduce himself first.
Good evening all, yes, I'm playing Jeremy, I'm playing Dracula, previously known as Penadier, a
Previously
Atruaghin
known as what?
tribesman who
No one remembers what he's previously.
yes,
Oh.
once the tribal lawman,
Yes.
once the tribal lawman, but has since been put on a destiny from Atruaghin himself to take up the mantle of shaman of the clans and chieftain of the dragon tribe.
The newly created dragon tribe.
I'm sure there'll be no difficulties whatsoever in that for you.
Yeah,
Well-
none whatsoever. Everything always goes great.
You're going to need a diplomat.
The only real
Carry on.
difficulty for him is the fact that by tribal tradition he should already be dead because he's way too old.
Which is going to be a really good thing when putting yourself forward as Dragon Clan, because you're so old that you have to
Indeed.
be not normal,
have
and
to wait
therefore
for the
you're
others.
entirely valid.
They have to introduce themselves first.
He's like, I want to go now.
It's your
No.
turn.
And in the background we can hear our NPC known as Therion voicing his opinion.
Yes.
So at the table today we have Kessler.
I am playing Kupalani Aokai. She goes by Lani. She is the human fighter tank here for a good time, just trying to keep everybody alive the best she can,
And accumulate
while also
titles.
get as many titles as possible. I think I'm at what, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 7 or 8. Depends on the day.
Yes, and at least 3 of them are because of proximity to Toro.
Absolutely.
Hey, Dracnima's been collecting titles and he hasn't even tried to.
Yeah, well,
So,
you've been planted with them. So have I, of course.
Yep, that's,
Hi,
that's
you're doing
normal
this
for you.
now.
Which then brings its nest to Ariadna.
Yes.
Who is currently holding the NPC, Therion, aka the loud voice from nowhere. Let's go with
He's
that.
a
Purring
cat. He's a
right
cat, and therefore the mascot of the Dragon Clan.
Yes.
He is also Calcrypt's official mount.
Yes.
There you go. See,
He
mascot of the
is
Dragon Clan.
also known as Calcrypt, the white dragon with the jazz wings. And her companion Grindlewaffle, Brewmaster, the coffee brewing gnome, and her plant companion Ethan, who is known for hanging off her horn.
And now plays for a puppet.
And now plays with a puppet. By God! Yours was better.
And lastly at the table today we have Paul. Just in time to eat his biscuit as I swing over to him and trying to give him enough time to eat it before I stop.
I'm surprised he
Yes.
didn't find the dragon. I'm really surprised he hasn't known. So it's like, no.
Well, you're coupling him, that's right. Fleur, who is the party diplomat, mostly the healer, warlock, and general pretty boy, and also head of Clan Fleur, which he didn't do deliberately.
Well, I believe
Prince of the Shadow Elves, which no one is supposed to know about.
you've officially inducted some of your family members into your clan, which then makes them clan leaders because the eldest rules.
Yes,
So there you go.
yes, basically to enable the clan to do things without me having to be there all the time.
Aren't you also the nightmare of all elven children?
Yes, which is why I can't tell people I'm the Prince of the Shadow Elves.
Not only is he the Prince of the Shadow Elves, he is the Shadow Elf.
Yes.
I am the Shadow Elf of the
Of all
of the boogeyman tales of elves of
Is it-
1,000 years. What more? Is it
More than
like-
1,000 years.
Well,
And
it's
it's the
about
equivalent
five-
of
four-
being called Red Cap.
It's very soft.
Yeah, it's about
at the
4,500 years.
Yeah, it's just had a very expensive shave.
Yes. Almost all the stories used to scare small children are me.
Inadvertently.
I didn't do deliberately. I can't tell anyone about it.
At the moment.
I really got.
At the moment.
There's always a time when it will come into an advantage.
Yes. When I'm at high enough level, I don't get assassinated on the spot by whoever feels like doing so.
Well, it also does make a good intimidation check for other elves.
That's very true. If I need to intimidate some elves at some point, I can scare the pajamas out of them.
And so, who wants to do the recap of what happened last session?
Someone who takes me.
I think we should give.
I was gonna say.
I was going to say we should give Lani an extra title. The title of
Lore Master?
Journey. Lore Master.
Yes.
Lore Master to the Shadow Elf Tour.
I was gonna start.
Well, I wouldn't.
She's gonna
Lore
start-
Master of Clan Kula.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, that's a point actually. Everyone else in the party is also a member of my clan
Yeah,
That's true.
that is very true.
because it pretty well had to go that way.
Yeah.
So yes. Plus, Drachnamir being the head of his own clan as well. Hello, Paul.
It's very complex.
It's possible to have multiple clan affiliations.
Oh yeah.
Unless, of course, they both feel the sides of battle on different sides.
Ooh.
At that point,
Well, you
we
can
would
still be
have-
affiliated with them. You can
Well,
tell
no.
it.
At that point, we would have some sort of agreement, and one or both of us would leave the battlefield.
Totally fair.
Or we would go, yes, we will do that. We will not fight each other's forces.
Alright, so, last session, we were in our, in the midst of trying to find the destruction orb. We have, gained access to a secret auction. As we are there, we find Tolkis tied up, to a chair, and he gets to tell us everything that he's learned over the past couple of days about, all of these different representatives from different parties had put in certain bids to try to get this orb. Some more trying to seem more altruistic, some more very overtly like just trying to use it for the purpose of
Power-hungry
destruction.
types. Because the orb is basically a nuke. I
Exactly.
remind people of that every session.
Exactly. So, we put together our own bid of money because they were asking for money. Nobody else put in money. So we gave them money.
Most people put in threats if they didn't get it.
Yeah, they put in threats. We put in
Yes.
money and said that we would make the orb disappear from this plane,
This area.
I'll take
this
off the
area,
hand.
Yeah.
this plane of existence.
And that's one of the things that was...
Disappear. I think we left it
Yes.
at disappear.
So they take our bid. Trumpets play, a pedestal stands up, and we apparently won the bidding war. So now we have to rush off to where the orb is being kept, which we all saw in a vision. It was kept at a mausoleum. We have to try to get there, along with trying to figure out how to get it to Drazzle as quickly as possible. So we have some people get Drazzle outside the city to the nearest point on the walls, where the rest of us go to try to get the orb. We think there's some Hellenic Knights that, or a Hellenic Knight that is kind of guarding the entrance, but ends up being a trick by Loki. So we get the orb through a couple different like openings and stuff. I think I missed some notes there. But anyway, we get there, get the thing over the wall. It's starting to melt away. This thing's about to go off, and Patrick flies it down off the wall, down to Drazzle.
Oh, I remember
the
this
very
session
last
now.
moment.
It took me a long
At the very last moment,
You were the important one this time.
yes, as Drazzle hands off the orb through the back of his cart to himself at a different point
Through a
of
portal.
time.
Different place.
Through it in a different place,
Yes.
at a different point in time, in a different Drazzle, but also the same Strazzle.
Which
whole
one
thing.
did immediately went boom?
And on the other side of the portal, the thing goes off. But we're safe. We're all good. Drowsy's like, thanks, guys. We decided to hightail it out of the city. Not that we have any disrespect towards Loki, but we're just like, nah, we're gonna leave. So we start heading back towards Ylaruam. Our idea is to go to the desert city there and figure out what to do next. That was our debate. Where do we go next? And we decided Ylaruam. So.
Well, that's the
traveling,
idea
there is a storm.
Ylaruam was the closest access point to Redring's Night River Inn,
Yep.
but there was also the fact that we'd heard the rumours of the a storm hanging over a lake in which a mysterious tower suddenly appeared.
Yep.
And hey, considering Redring's happy for us and keen for us to check out rumours of oddities, the possibility of taking a slight detour back towards the Night River Inn is certainly on the cards, I would have thought.
Absolutely. So,
I've got to check on my bakery/cafe business.
so that was where we left off.
But I don't know, I'm not certain whether or not
We left going southwards.
in our travel along that main road in Ylaruam, south towards the capital where the Night River Inn, did we actually see this tower floating in the distance, or we can't
You saw
find
it
it?
going north. I'm just now digging out the book that it's in because I forgot to dig that out in the meantime. You always
Yeah,
get that.
so we did quite on the way north, we thought we could get on the way back, that's right.
Unfortunately, there's lots of room, so you don't have to move. It's nothing to apologise for. Okay.
That's the Tuesday group you're over.
Yeah, I'll put mine on silence.
Don't worry.
So is that David able to join or wishing he could join?
It's Clarissa making a comment about a comment I made before the game.
Well,
Yeah.
also included a David,
Oh, David,
comment.
And David also commented.
Not actually saying he's available, just
Just compensate.
Yes.
okay. So yes, we have a few people unable to make it, unfortunately, for them, but we will continue. So it is the morning of the 9th of the 3rd month of 1008. Your characters are 9th level at the moment.
Yep.
And it is session number 84 for those who writing down session numbers. And you are travelling south to Ylaruam. At this point, I think you would be crossing into that region. Let's see if I've actually got it all on here. Did I move that one across? Yes, I did. Okay. So you spent the night travelling through the Jotun Bulk Pass, which does have giants there.
The Jotun.
Jota.
Jotun Bulk Pass.
Jotun what?
Jotun Alk.
Elk.
A-L-K.
Elk.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Pass. That's okay. Thank you.
It's just hard for me to pronounce because I'm not very
No.
good at doing
It's a tricky
non-standard syllables.
Yes.
That's a hard one.
Well, I should try the
Like-
Curse of the Crimson Throne character names for NPCs. They all sound the same because I'm not Spanish.
Yeah.
It's like having Mark, Martin, and Marvin as your three main NPCs in the background,
Yeah.
and be saying Mark's doing this, Marvin's doing this, and Martin's doing that, and you're
It's
going,
confusing.
Yeah. It gets worse if you don't hear from them for a session.
Okay.
And you're just like,
So sort of 2 sessions ago, all 3 of them were there, and now we've got all 3 again. Which one was the redhead?
And don't forget about Marvin.
Yeah.
he's a Martian, don't worry.
It was just
He's a
really.
legit NPC represented.
It was really hard to actually GM as and keep a straight face at the same time because everyone heard me butchering the name every time, which made it hard to know which name was which.
I can imagine.
So it's like, and this one is, let's call him Pete. Next time I might call him George, but it's the same character because I forgot what I called him. You get that. Okay, so heading south, you're looking out over the hills, heading down into Ylaruam. You have about 2 days' journey to Mennu.
Can we spell that?
CINSA-MEN-NO.
Sorry, you went really fast. CINSA
dash MEN
MEN
dash NOO.
NOO.
Yeah, we would be able to
Since
pronounce it.
menu would be my
it's
guess.
high. Let's get Arabs and make them sound a bit Chinese.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast have put out disclaimers that all these books have racism in their writing.
Yes,
Well,
It's entirely fair.
because they're all.
the reality of life is that
So they-
people are.
They've actually officially apologized
Yeah.
for all the racism in
Because
the
it's not
writings
just
for
that.
anyone who
Oh,
writes
It's
it
that
now.
is-
explicit
Yeah.
in this because they have got.
Well, that's what
That's-
the time
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
was
So,
written
so
in that was more
this
acceptable.
one is has a comedic take on some of the Arabian aspects,
Yeah.
as well as a serious screw with the mind of Westerners take on some of it at the same time.
Yes.
So it's got a bit of a balancing act between comedy and
It's
horror.
Yeah, it's not so much the cultural appropriation because you get that with fantasy worlds. It's the fact the way they did it
I thought it was
was
in my hands.
distinctly not respectful in at least 3 different ways.
Which is why when I do it, I just re-edit all that stuff out, and I'll say up front anything that will be seen as wrong from our perspective now, and why it's been left in there.
Blame the writer. Yes.
Well, not blaming the writer, just saying this is how
Maybe
that
the
party
writer
is,
didn't know
and
any better.
I didn't
Well,
want to change
no, well, the editor-
other parts of the
editor-
story.
And
Yeah.
when you're coming from a culture where they don't teach you any better,
No.
you can't necessarily
Yeah.
be expected.
Well, part of it also is basically lazy writing. The Greyhawk was Gary Gygax got a map of America and got random or semi-random cultures from around the world and just went plop,
Yeah.
plop, plop.
Which is what he did to the D&D world as well.
And that's what because he was one of the major writers from Mystara too, wasn't
With
he?
Aaron
Alston.
the guy behind
Blackmore.
Yeah,
Yeah, Aaron Alston.
Yes. So that those two did were the core behind Mystara, whereas Gary Gygax was the core behind Greyhawk.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But
They were both done the same way. Yeah.
because they're at the same time,
Yeah.
exactly the same time period.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah, so they've not gone, we're going to do something based on this culture. It's we're going to get this culture, butch the buggery out of it, mix it with another one, and then use
and
that.
then call ourselves diverse.
Yes.
and that's
Well,
why I've re-edited all the cultures to be elemental based as the focus,
Yeah.
with themes of cultures instead of it's this culture.
Yeah, because your elemental aspect is more important.
Yeah.
But you also,
There's a language with it as well.
you also find a lot of authors that aren't experienced will start off doing that, but then growing to doing it more
Yeah.
organically, naturally, but it's a
Yes.
process.
Unless they read how to write fantasy novels to start with.
Which is,
So coming back to the fact that you're in Ylaruam, which
Yes.
its main cultural identity is
Thousand One Nights.
basically the Arabian Nights aspect, ruled by grizzly old men who misinterpret things to their own advantage.
That's normal everywhere.
No, in other parts of this setting specifically, it's not like that.
Oh,
so
okay,
just
so
saying
they've been very
in-
explicit with this one.
and that's why I'm saying in this region itself specifically, it is men have more rights than others,
Yeah.
whereas you'll find in other areas women have more rights than men. So in the Elven culture,
Yes. Which-
the woman has more rights than the men do.
Yes, the Berbers in Elrond.
So yes. So
Or at least as many rights as men. But the men are the ones who wear the veils in Berber culture.
Are we talking in this setting?
In our world.
Okay.
back to the
Yes.
city.
So where exactly are we?
So you started the session. You've just come out of the peak, coming through the pass. You're at
Yeah.
so Jeremy can actually see as well. Yes, there's a little.
I'm looking at the map on my web page.
Yeah. So you're just through the John Tunville Pass on the red border. That's the line where we're starting the session.
Okay.
And we spent 2 days getting
That's
fencing in.
it's 2 days to get to
Oh,
from
I thought
there.
you said we just had.
I was saying that's
2
what you
days.
that's what you can see 2 days ahead in front of you.
Okay.
But you can go somewhere else if you wish to,
Okay.
because that's the northern highlands of Ylaruam.
Where did we?
Because we saw the tower.
You would have seen
like-
it somewhere in this area here, which is just dead space for most of the populace.
Okay.
And weren't we in? Do
We're-
at some
we're-
point we have to
somewhere
go
about
see the
there.
Sultan because we promised to go back and
And that
visit.
would
Yes.
be on
And
way
the
down.
Sultan is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where the Night River Inn is.
That is
or-
where it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's
Cool.
on our way.
Yes. And we have to see the Sultan. We have to see. No, we already saw Drazzle, the version of Drazzle here, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we've got to be polite to the Sultan because we weren't last time, and then make our way to the inn and then go elsewhere.
Yes. Okay. So, as a party, I guess we'll take the road
Have a look.
toward.
Yes.
Stuff.
I will.
Right.
Yeah, start heading the 2
I'll get
days
that.
to the next city, I guess, or next town.
Something dark side.
I was just trying to figure out the. Did you
What
need
just
something?
happened? What,
No, we're going
did
for-
we decide what we were doing?
I was gonna say we should just go ahead, start taking the trail down to the next city
Yep.
that
Yeah.
we need to go to.
So
and
what was
see-
this about this tower though that you were
It's
asking about?
It's where the mouse is on the screen. So we need to go south first anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
okay.
faster to follow the road.
Yeah. Okay. So that's we're just heading towards that just destination in general.
So
And
we'll
we've got
see.
really nice horses to do it with.
We'll see if some. Oh yes, we do have very nice horses. I forgot about that.
Why do we have everyone's?
Because
Because we nicked them.
the thief
Oh, I see.
stole them.
Ah,
Yes.
yes.
And we have.
Is that
They're Tyranny?
They are Theatan Emperor's Guards horses.
Yeah. They're
Autologous.
Oh yes, Tolicus. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Emperor's.
Sorry, my memory is
Guards.
really bad today.
Yeah, that's
Emperor's Guards horses. From the Empire.
And Drazzle limits nothing knowing anything about where they came from.
I don't think any of us do. Alright, so we're heading towards.
if anyone asks Drazzle, he'll tell them their food.
Does anything happen along the way?
Okay. Let's see how lucky you are.
Why are
Apparently
you
very
like-
lucky.
Why are you like this? Oh no. Oh.
You had to ask.
I should have. Yeah, I should know better by now, honestly. I should have made Paul roll the dice. Oh no.
On the bright side, the good thing about you encouraging the roll of a random encounter, it has a higher probability of being more scaled to the fact of missing a few party members.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so
Or not.
so what's one thing Lani's been wanting to come across in the desert?
And
Sad people.
So you want to come across sand people on banters with
Yeah, sure. Why
No,
not?
that's the other Tuesday.
Yeah, that's next week. You know
No,
what? Why
No,
not?
I
Let's
don't
just
mind
say
as long
yeah.
as we get blasted.
I have
Yeah.
rules for throwing people between planets, so that's possible. You could find yourself in a galaxy far, far away.
Between realms, you mean?
We can make the blasters
Another
and then have to
planet.
hand them over to someone.
Yeah.
Technically, there's alien ships and technology here, so
Yes.
who's to say that
I would say some kind.
Redrian doesn't come off a Star Destroyer?
I say we come across some kind
Getting the bits
of
for his ship back to you so we can put it back together. Really. We're saving the world from his ship.
of some kind. That's the best I got.
You still won't give us blasters though.
No, I won't.
I'm more than happy to give you blasters. If I give you blasters, you know there's something terrible coming.
Of course.
The main problem is that he'll give us blasters by putting it in the hands of the enemy.
Yeah,
I also did give you blasters in the Elven Lands.
Yes.
very true. Very true. And
You just didn't get to use them.
I just
but
want
you
to
did
know
get
where the
blasters.
lightsabers are.
What, you don't like the heavy sabers?
Technically, Carprix doesn't need either, so she's good.
Well, if my Moonblade grows a bit and starts being able to generate radiant damage, I've suddenly got a lightsaber.
I was gonna say I have a lightsaber.
Theoretically.
And there are a couple of people with some blades in the game who have actual physical blade until they grab the hilt, and then the blade manifests as energy.
Yep. Yeah, that would be interesting.
So this is where you pull up your Star Wars music from Sirenscape.
Yes.
And we hear the background calls of Panthers.
Yeah.
Well,
Tusken
they
Raiders.
do have space themes, but they're not allowed to title anything Star Wars.
Of course not.
Of course.
Yeah.
So Starfighter perfectly fine.
I don't suppose they've got like foreign, large,
They have laser swords.
phrasing,
Laser sword.
you know, like Panther sounds, but not labeled Panther.
Yeah.
Now you start to play up
Because
the
sand people, you think of the.
But you use the Boba Fett soundtrack.
You did say sand people.
I did. I said local group of some kind. We are in the desert. I'm assuming sand. Well,
Yeah.
but funny enough, I was thinking like Avatar: Last Airbender sand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Earthbenders.
Yeah.
So sand people, elemental warlocks.
Yeah.
Maybe not that, but sure.
There might be some elemental locks in a hospital with them.
Yeah. One of the things I was sort of thinking about is getting myself retrained in rebuild claw as a hex blade.
I would say.
Okay, so you hear a bunch of horses coming in the distance.
Good music for it. Yep.
This is perfect. Brackets, because Lani wanted to make sand people, close brackets.
Because Lani's like, oh, I'm bored. I just want to fight something. This happens.
Okay. How big a bunch of horses are we talking?
There is a cloud at the moment that you can't actually see numbers.
I was gonna
They are hiding their numbers.
Because they're still a distance away then.
They're still a bit of a distance, but you can hear them from at least half a mile away.
Because usually with horses when they run like that, all you see is.
Is there any good spots to
Yes.
step aside to allow them to pass by without incident?
I was going to say, do we all need
And
to roll
do
a perception check for places to stand out of the way or hide?
You can.
Is it a D20?
But presumably you kind of take your horses and or the wagon as well. So
I'm trying to think, would Lonnie think of this as a threat?
I just want to see if we can do anything. Perception in general.
Yes, Lonnie sees this as a threat.
So that's an 18 plus.
But I just got a 10 perception.
Okay, so you're looking around going, well, looks like there's nowhere decent to hide for Lani, so you may as well just stand here and fight.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a
25, but more just what I can perceive in general about my surroundings and possibly approaching.
So you think you can see a few different places you might be able to get out of line of sight depending on which way they come?
Yep. I suggested Drazzle that he may want to move him and his cart towards one of those areas. just in case these people are hostile. And I point and set places out to the rest of the group in case they also like to be a bit out of the way. Is it just like flat area, or is
No,
there
it's hills.
any?
Lots of
Can I move to a place where I got some sort of advantage?
You can, but again, I want to see what everyone else is doing before
Yep.
we go off and
Yep.
split the party.
Yep.
So, Paul, what were you doing? Were you trying to?
Follow Lonnie and get off the road, get undercover something.
Oh,
Lonnie's standing in the middle of the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lonnie
Get-
is
follow everyone who
standing
isn't Lonnie.
in
Yes.
defensive position, but not with any weapons out.
And what is Drachnomir doing?
He's basically treating the idea of, oh, well, this obviously is a large force that's travelling by, completely unrelated to us, therefore we'll just make space off to the side of the road, and he'll aim to be in a spot which is not obvious and possibly high ground if it's there, in case there becomes a problem, but yeah, his main point is step to the side.
Okay, so Drachnomir and Calcrix move to one of the nearby hills at the top to give them vantage and the high ground, because hey, the high ground means you win, according to the sand people.
I will invite Lani and Claude to join us if they want to.
And
Do so.
Drazzle pulls his cart behind the hill out of sight of the road, as directed by Calcrix.
Unless we're all convinced his line lines
And some of the others head off with Drazzle to go hide behind the hill.
I point out to Lani that we could still talk to said people if we wanted to, but at least we'd have the height advantage.
Fine. Ruin all my fun.
You might have
So
more fun.
So he's quite like can't stand in the middle there and be the attention.
Yeah.
So you stay with your horse, or do you have someone take your horse off the road as well?
I'll have my horse go with Drazzle and the others.
Okay, so just Lani standing in the middle of the road.
No, I'll go,
No,
I'll go,
she's-
I'll go up. She convinced me.
Yeah. So everyone but Drazzle now is up on the hill because Claw's here.
Yeah,
You get on the hill as well, so the four of you are on top of the hill,
Yeah.
whereas another
Wait,
four of you are
everyone
behind
can
the
see
hill.
us.
Behind the top of the hill, unless we want to be visible.
Did you want to be with Drazzle, who's hiding, or I think Drachnamar and I are kind of, we're not obvious, but
You're standing on top of the hill, your silhouette.
it depends on what's behind us on the hill. If it's trees,
There are no
So there's
trees, just mountains
It's,
and
or there might be rocks or
Yeah,
scrub.
but if you're back from the crest of the hill, you can have it so that your eyes are at the top of the hill level.
I was thinking like
So
sandy
your head's-
desert or brushy desert.
sandy desert at this
So
point.
like, okay, so like
Yeah.
dunes
There is
stuff.
rocks underneath
Yeah,
most
if
of
you-
the sand.
If
but
you look at the
Okay,
map,
okay.
the orange stuff in the middle,
See,
that's the
look,
sandy
everyone
stuff, and the
underrates
brown
the
is
capacity for me to see.
scrubby.
I can see no detail on that map whatsoever.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
I can't read any writing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to your phone if that would help you.
That would depend on my capacity to function my phone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to be.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not sure my hands can actually work that well to get it to you anyway.
All good.
Yeah.
It's alright, you're not really getting
I can
missing
bring it
much.
up on this one.
At the moment, though, I'm happy. You know, I don't necessarily want to pay you, but I just would like to get a bit of a view of these guys before I decide if I want to be more visible.
Okay, so as
So
they,
back from the crest of the hill, so we're not silhouetted on top.
how many actually follow Llewell's really sensible suggestion and stand back so you're not Mr. Obvious on top of the hill?
I would do that.
I don't.
Okay, so we have Lani being Mr. Obvious.
Yeah.
Does Dracnomir also act as Mr. Obvious?
Drachnimmer tends to be naturally stealthy.
Okay,
Would actually do it.
so next thing Lani notices is she's the only one standing on top of the hill, as everyone else is back
Hey,
from the
she was
crest.
given a chance. And I'm not that far.
See. Lonnie
That's where we're
will.
going. That's where we are.
Lonnie will be like,
This orange.
guys, why are you like
Rocky.
this? So then she would actually
So
hide.
that's
So firstly, you're on the road, and then they move to the hills. Like,
the red spots. where
you move to the hill, then they move off the top of the hill.
Yeah. Lonnie's kind of pissed. She's just like, what the heck? I just need lights something brewing on my punch. And you know what? Fine. I will do whatever you guys say.
We'll save one up for you. Let you take on whatever you like. At the moment,
Calcrix would like to put it this way. At this stage, you can decide where to have your fun from. But if you stand out in the middle of nowhere, you're kind of you're gonna lose a lot of your options.
Yep.
it's nice to choose what you're up to.
Yeah.
She takes note of all of her weapons.
Plus, I think this.
What would
I
be
think the
fun
salt.
here?
I think the Saltman has gladiators too.
It's not good.
Okay, so as you're looking,
Fighting for money.
you each perceive what's coming a little bit differently than each other.
Mm-hmm.
We'll first start off with Dragnomir, who's looking on at it. For him, it looks like a river of sand coming closer, moving like a flock of animals.
Approximate size of this blob?
Enough to obscure maybe a war party or a major force.
Okay.
It's not something unusual amongst the tribesmen. They do use nature to obscure, so the more advanced people around them have no idea what's happening.
Absolutely.
So Lani sees this thing looking on, seeing it really does look the equivalent of reminds you of a school of fish moving through water. It's because it's not going in a straight line. Well, considering most sandy areas are straight,
Yes.
it is flowing around all the obstacles.
Yes.
And really does fit the word flow.
Yes. So just like Bugs Bunny not turning right at
Well, no, the problem is he always turned right at Albuquerque. He should have taken the left.
Yeah. Sorry, not turning left at Albuquerque. That's correct.
And if it was ships, they would be moving with precision that you would admire.
Alright.
Because basically they don't seem to be slowing down, and
They just move.
they're just moving with the flow of the land.
It's pretty cool.
From Calcrick's perspective, looking on at this, it looks very much to you the equivalent of things moving with air currents. So when you fly and you take a current to move, it sort of feels a lot like that. It's because it's
I'm an aerologist. Everything's related to air.
while you're used to being on the ground, you love flying, and it really does look as if air is moving for these people instead of against them. And Luo, looking on it, what he looks at it in his perspective is it looks like someone's been combining elements to create a rather unusual effect from his perspective. Earth and air had been combined to create what's also a shroud as well as protection at the same time.
Yeah.
So keeps the sun off them, keeps the air moving around them, and it does make you think of someone manipulating things with runes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't know how or which runes,
Yeah.
but
I've got enough other magical knowledge
and it's
to
not
work out if someone's doing something like a cross between an earth elemental and an air elemental, and they've got basically a semi-sentient lily.
And from what you've heard, this is the sort of magic the Alphathians specialize in, is the combining of elements.
Yeah.
For them, a single element is just someone with protection.
Yeah.
Anyone who has dual elements is generally someone who is someone of importance. Anyone who can express 3 is someone who's valuable. Anyone who express 4 is someone who's ruling. Anyone who can express 5 is generally the person in charge.
Yeah. Yes, because they can upgrade themselves. I do know the technique for doing that.
It's not something many people do because it's not done lightly.
No, it's not done lightly because it's changing your person permanently.
Normally at the expense of someone else.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Because normally the way to do that is if you want an extra element, you end up taking it from somebody else. People with no element, we've met people like that. And those people in the Frankium area, they were elementless. Yeah.
So yes, and it doesn't look as if they have noticed you at this stage, as they seem to be following the road.
Do we know, Scarlet know from previous times what sort of group this likely is to be?
Whatever it is, they're large and well disciplined.
Conferring with the group, I asked them if they want to interact with these guys at all, since they seem to have not seen us.
And
just
presumably
going
they come from the south, like Ylaruam type area, and they're heading towards Tel Kabir or Singsmendu.
Well, they're heading towards the Jotun Velk Pass.
Okay, yep. Oh, okay, so we're stopping there, sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, so they're going the opposite way of us?
Yep. They're going the
Yeah,
opposite way to you.
so we're north of Singsmendu at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's no
Uh,
pigment out of this map, but you read the name straight off here.
Okay. As long as if they don't move, I don't move. Lonnie's just pouting.
He's pouting. Okay, so it takes about
I'll do it. You just write it down.
Yeah.
takes about 10
Worst
minutes
case, I might
for them
steal
to.
the spin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Just trying to remember what I was trying to say. Takes about 10 minutes for them to pass as you're watching, and they seem to be galloping.
Yeah, I suspect were we to show ourselves
That's
and they had to
lot.
stop, they might get upset with us.
And it takes them 10 minutes to pass, like, see, with us being able to see how they go and stuff. Like, that's
Talking like a mage on force.
pretty big.
Dracnomir would
Did we
probably
get-
estimate close to 1,000 horses.
That's a lot.
And do they appear?
Yeah.
Did they appear to be Ylaruamites?
You couldn't get a good visual on them, but what you could see kept changing because you think the obscuring effect was also obscuring what they were.
What about audio? Like in the sense of were we hearing armor clanging or?
You hear horses and stuff, but you hear what sounds like horses neighing, but you don't actually see any of the horses looking like they're neighing.
Yeah.
So the sounds don't quite match up to the images you're seeing.
Okay. But we weren't hearing the sounds of heavy armor or barding or things like that sort of stuff.
You did hear a lot of.
Right.
You did hear the sounds of sand upon sand,
Yep.
which may actually obscure what's actually happening underneath.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. But I'm just thinking, like, without the sound of the metal, it's more likely they were like a Ylaruam horseman as opposed to being Ethagarian horseman or something like that.
I'm
Not
also-
Ethagarian, say Haldanic type horseman.
I'm getting the feeling from what Martin's describing, they are possibly using runic magic to not just disguise their numbers, but to disguise their sound.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
why we can't
Yeah.
determine anything specific about either what we see or what we hear. Because
Yep.
all of us, regardless of what descriptions he's giving, it's always something it's very hard for us to determine.
Yeah.
So there could well be metal in there, but
Oh yeah, no, that's, I certainly wasn't suggesting from that.
yeah.
We've
No,
got
I
it,
didn't think
but
so. I was just kind of
That's right, just the effect of the assessment of not hearing metal goes down that path. And again, this also I expect
seem
that everyone
to-
probably hears something slightly different too. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that this is as much
as much
Jack
as you're gonna
assessment.
perceive. Yeah.
So
I was just gonna say, you seen the Royal Ring in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Think about that, how they all come around, the three figures,
It's just cool.
and then just like close them in. So I'm imagining that if we were to step out there, that's what would happen to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Lani can kind of appreciate.
Or the
as
equivalent
this
of
10
the charge
minutes
of the
go
Rohirrim going
past.
into the forces of Mordor as you stand there
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like,
Excuse me.
I'm hoping as this time passes, Lani's kind of like, well, maybe not the people I wanted to pick a fight with today.
Yeah.
So once the forces passed, the road itself seems to be torn up and damaged.
Wow.
Is there any ability to recognise tracks or anything like that?
There is.
Of the horse hooves, or
As you go down, give me a survival roll for Drachnomir. I'll give him advantage on the roll for certain reasons.
I'm gonna see what
Okay.
Dracula does.
plus 13. That's a 15. 28.
28. Having a look at the tracks, it looks as if about a huge amount of horses that match Strazzle's horse has gone through here.
Okay.
Wait,
Of the same sort of size as Drazzle's horse?
Strazzle's horse.
the
That's
same-
terrifying.
Of the same size, yes.
Okay, yeah.
So not a single hoof print can be found anywhere in the ground you're looking at.
Okay. Well, Dracula will actually discuss this or bring this up to Drazzle and say potentially some of your fellows, they hadn't been out and about. So,
Well, Drazzle not witness, Drazzle not know.
Chaza wasn't looking.
so.
Well, they did suggest that he go hide behind the hill, so he did. So we didn't see it.
Hiding.
Yes, but if I'm pointing out the tracks that I'm finding,
Can't see you.
does he have any like a recognition of the track or?
He sniffs the tracks and tastes a little bit, and nods to himself and walks off.
Good job, Chaza. Good job.
Yes. Now we know why Dracula spent most of the campaign avoiding talking to Drazzle. But he figures now he's got to make an effort.
And sadly, that's how he's interacted most of the time with people. He's done stuff in front of him, said something, then walked off without actually answering the question.
Presuming we're heading on our way, Calcrix will give Drazzle a cookie and she'll have one herself and offer one to everyone else and then head on along the road.
Yep.
Does Horse want a cookie?
Horse, of course, wants a cookie.
Okay. I give one to Drazzle, you give to Horse.
I was just don't offer to push yourself.
Martin might roll his dice.
No, he could toss it.
Toss a cookie to your Witcher?
Yes.
How about I toss a cookie to Horse? Hopefully Horse
Horse
does.
does a twist in his harness to get the cookie. It does also look horrendous to everyone watching this. What looks like a Clydesdale standing twisted on one leg.
Yes.
Cool.
Alright,
Perhaps
let's
the
move
dragon, perhaps the dragon folk are going to return to their more traditional role of fending off the giants up in the Jotunborg.
Oh, you do remember that the dragons had promised something if they didn't get the orb.
True.
The dragons had promised something.
It did. They promised to.
What is the connection though that we could tell? Would that be that possibly
So we're heading
that-
north towards where that city was.
where the dragons are?
If this is a force of dragons, they were heading towards the city that had
if
failed to
this
give
is
them the orb.
So the force might be dragons. Okay, right.
Yeah, just remember
Would
that
Calcrix have any insight to that, considering she is a dragon?
You're not from this region.
Okay.
but remember that when Martin described that the hoof prints or that the footprints
Yeah.
looked like
Horses.
what's his name's horse?
Drazzle's horse.
Yeah.
Drazzle's horse.
Horse called horse.
We all know that Drazzle's horse is actually a drake.
He's actually a what?
It's a form of dragon that's considered
okay.
more animal
I
than
didn't know that
dragon.
he was a form of drake. I just knew that he wasn't a horse.
Yeah. He's
Well, in fact, some of the characters
quite
may not
close.
be aware of it yet, but the
Oh, look,
certainly
I
some
might
of
have
us
been
are.
told and forgotten.
He also doesn't take the illusion off very often.
No, it's been alluded to, but not specifically mentioned. So don't worry.
But admittedly, that's why the image of the Clydesdale with its neck turned back and twisted over onto one leg
Is
is part of that recognition of the. It's not really a Clydesdale.
yes. Yes. I think your gnome was told once, but that was it.
I think actually Calcrix might have been as well, because she's been around
Calcrix has-
Basil for some time
You
in
may have
2
found
or
out
3 different
separately.
games. Yeah.
You may have found it separately, but not in this.
Yeah, I'm just making
Yeah.
sure I've got a note of it for
Yeah.
later.
That's right.
So yeah, so you do find the road a little rougher going on from this point.
Yep.
Do you remember exactly what it was the dragons told the Thieves Guild they would do if they didn't get the orb?
Wipe the city out.
Wake the city up?
Wipe the
Wipe-
city out.
Wipe the
Wipe
city
it
out.
out. Like the city who
Yeah.
sold the orb or accepted the orb was going to be destroyed by the dragons.
That's fair enough, because hey, that's why we paid the Thieves Guild, so they had the money to get out.
Yes.
And if any dragons do exist in the region, they've hidden themselves in such a way that most people can't see them, even if they stumble across them.
Yeah.
They do refer to themselves as the hidden kingdom of dragons, after all.
Very cool. So was the threat of destruction on the city who sold it or the city who received it?
It was a little vague for most of the people who heard it.
Yeah, I think it was, if you don't sell it to us, we'll destroy you,
Okay.
and we'll sell it, and we'll destroy whoever you sell it to.
Yeah.
So it was both.
So in other words, it's a good thing we hid behind the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they told it to us.
And
Thank you, Perception 25.
Yeah.
Or admittedly, they won't bother with us first, they'll get the city and they'll come back.
yes.
Yeah.
That's possible too. Look, I'm not counting that out.
So, but either way, yes, we will continue on southwards.
And as you're standing, some of you are standing up on the hill. Dressel points in the other direction.
Yep.
I look in that direction.
You see a shimmering lake that you saw somewhere else. Is now up here.
Is that an actual lake or a mirage?
Vela just sits and looks at it and shrugs.
Oh, that's right, because I remember you described this lake as having mysteriously popped up with a tower in it. Not that the tower popped up mysteriously, it's that the lake popped up mysteriously, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that's
I
what rumors
completely
were. That could,
Mix that up.
so-
So now it makes sense.
How
Yeah.
far away does it seem?
Well, it seems to be about 2 or 3 miles closer to the mountains. So closer to where you'll see kobolds have built their lair.
So is that towards where we're going, away from where we're going?
So you guys are about here,
Yep.
and it seems to be right up against the mountains here.
Okay. Alright.
in a journey of a few hundred miles, a few miles in either direction, not really out of the way.
Well, I would suggest that if Drussel's pointed it out, maybe we would go investigate. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
Yes.
He saw it while looking behind the hill.
Yep.
And yeah, and hey, well, there's water.
Yeah. I have a flask of unending water, but I don't mind going and enjoying some water.
but as I
Water
say,
in
it
a
was
desert is
actually
also yes.
we'd heard the rumours of this
Well,
lake and tower appearing
Calcrix is a bit
in
like a cat.
Daraka.
Yeah,
So-
we heard this when we were at Redrian's last, and he was telling
Can I just use
us
prestidigitation?
about it. So,
I enjoy breathing.
That's another thing entirely.
so I guess
And some people like rubbing sand.
Yes. And they're weird. I don't want that.
So So yes, as you move further off the trail, you start hearing whispers in language that you can't understand, which is really annoying for Llewell, who can understand just about any.
I was say, I know a lot of languages.
And Llewell has a magical ability that lets him understand any language he hears.
Yeah, and which means they're deliberately concealing it.
Or it's not actually a language.
Or it's not a language. Yeah.
It's like talk for babble or something.
Or it's techno-speak.
There you go.
I'd still understand it. I
Actually,
wouldn't understand the concepts necessarily.
The gods will not translate techno-speak. That's one of the...
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone can describe things as technology and your brain's going gobbledygook.
Yes, because Elsindor will not let that ability work.
Yep.
And it's an Elsindor given ability.
So does this actually take us more into the like the mountainous terrain from the foothills, or?
You are heading towards the mountainous terrain, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can see a big mountain before you on the other side of what appears to be a shimmering lake. There's no waterways that appear to lead to it. No waterways leading away from it.
Is the tower also there?
Give me a perception roll as you look at this lake.
Way away.
I'm looking at the mountain.
Pretty mountain,
I
pretty
see.
colours.
But it's like,
17.
whoa, it's not flat.
8.
18 and
Nice.
17.
Yeah.
And how did
29.
29. Okay, so the two of you, not Dracnomir, looking out over the lake here, see the lake shift with many colours going through it, and see a shadow on the other side of the lake. Dracnomir can actually see the outline of a tower in the shadow of the mountains, which is going over the lake itself.
As in the tower is floating over the lake, or the tower is on the other side of the lake?
The shadow of the mountains is falling over the
Oh,
lake,
right,
and
yeah.
in that shadow, in
and
the lake,
hiding the
is
tower
is
in
the
its
tower.
shadow. Yeah, okay. And how big is this lake are we looking at?
So this lake looks to be about half a mile in diameter.
Okay. So, well, is there actually any sort of pathway leading to this, or are we picking effectively trackless terrain?
It is
across?
completely trackless terrain. It doesn't look as
Yep.
if the water, this lake actually belongs here.
Okay. In which case, then I'm guessing that Dracnim is probably taken towards the lead of finding the easiest path through the trackless terrain, and he will continue to head around the left side of the lake, if they happen to be more the closest one, towards heading to the tower.
From the way you're looking at things, no matter which way you go, the quickest way is actually through the lake.
Yes, but I'm assuming people don't really want to get wet right now.
Because unless you've got climbing gear and try to do a jump from the mountain range and parachute down, there's no decent way to get to the tower from any other way.
I'd be willing
So
to...
there's
Okay.
no land connection to the
No
tower.
land connection to the tower.
Okay, well in that case then I will lead us up to the lake, and we can assess and obviously point out that it doesn't look like it's worth going around.
As you reach the lake, give me I'll make Prayer Deer do a survival roll. Lani can do a history roll. Llewell can do anything he wants on that one too. Maybe an insight.
It won't be.
Things that your characters come across.
Yeah.
I like the fact that so far in this session,
Yep.
until we get into combat, my dice are doing great. I haven't rolled under 13 yet.
Cool.
And
I can do a history.
I'll go for insight for you for this one.
I got
28 for
I got
survival.
19 in history.
Nice.
He got 20.
And I'll do an Arcana roll for Harriet.
Yeah. 24.
24. Because I'll each give you different things. Certain things you'll get without having to roll.
Yeah, fair enough.
Basically, if I think your character will know it, I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Yep.
Only 11.
That's okay. So, Calcrix looks at it and goes pretty colours. Because there's every colour you can imagine, plus some you've never seen before,
Nice.
dancing through the lake.
Yeah.
What did Lonnie get?
I got a 19 for history.
19 for history. Looking at it, you have heard of water like this. Water like this doesn't exist on this world.
Right.
What did Luau get?
That was 24.
You got 24.
Inside.
Inside. You can tell by looking at this water that it is a planar rift.
It's a what?
It's a planar rift.
Oh, okay.
So the water here has no depth, and
It may be water, but the water's not actually here. There's something enabling it to be in the same place we are.
and if you cross it, you'll cross planes.
Does anyone stop
Space
Calcrix
water.
from running over and splashing in the water?
Yes.
Lonnie will hold Calcrix
Do not-
back and be like, "This is not actual water."
Do not touch. Well, it's actual water, but it's not water that's here.
And that's what Lewis
And,
And
if
then
you step
I'm-
across if you step into the water, you're crossing planes because that's functionally a planar portal, and we don't know what that plane is.
And Jeremy, you got 29, didn't you?
28.
28.
On
Okay.
survival.
So you're looking at it, and you can tell the borders between planes have broken here. And you're looking at somewhere in the plane of water.
Okay.
And the tower you can see before you is something that is not of this world.
Does it appear to be of the same plane as the water, or is
It
it a different
does.
plane again?
Appears to be made out of corals.
Coral, as in
Coral,
like
yeah.
undersea. Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks to be at least 300-400 feet in height, sticking out of the water.
Cool.
But it also goes into the water. It's like it is actually in the lake. It's just that we're seeing a portion that's poking out of the lake. Is that the idea?
That is the idea.
Yep.
And you do know that as long as you don't submerge under the water fully, you won't be traversing planes.
Yeah. Okay. So Tim was thinking that, gee, now I'm spewing. I left my rowboat back in Blanchard. The one that was attached to his road.
Right. Yeah. Yes. The problem is, this moves around. We know that, and it's intermittent. We've got no way of coming back on our own. We have a job to do.
Though he's also identified that the border's not stepping over it, the border is submerging.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So we can
So
actually,
you could stand
we could
in
actually
and
go
splash.
across.
As long as you,
Stand in it and splash?
as
Yeah. Just
long as you don't go under.
Don't go under, because the portal's actually the surface.
So,
the edge.
everyone in the party, it's 2 or 3 minutes of Grindelwaffle, Eep, and Calcrix playing like a puppy in the shallow water, splashing the water and making it go up everywhere.
It's not actually shallow.
It's not?
There
No.
is no depth.
There is no depth whatsoever because it doesn't stop.
So does that mean I can't splash in it?
You can splash in it,
You
but
can.
if you try, there's nothing to stand on once you,
Yeah, you can't
break the
can't
surface.
stop it.
You have to make sure that you never actually get submerged.
Okay.
There's no bottom to stand on.
In that
You're
case,
constantly swimming.
Calcrix will stand on the outside and splash it with one foot, while the others
That makes sense. Yep. Oh, no, I had something in my head.
Sorry.
All good.
No, you're right.
As we're in,
Yeah, the implication is that
Yeah.
we could technically swim, but it would be very risky. Does it look like there's waves on the lake?
Can I fly over it?
The lake itself is perfectly smooth.
Right, and it's perfectly, apparently still. Like the water's got no.
You can see
height.
that. You can see the water swirling underneath that smoothment, but the water has no height.
Yeah. Okay.
So question,
Yep.
would I fly over it?
Yep.
And would it be helpful if, say, we were tie a rope to something on this end, I fly over it, attach the rope at the other end, or hold at the other end, and then people use the rope not to submerge while they cross?
So we're
No.
talking about a Calcrix kite.
Yes.
I'm not sure. It depends. If
Well,
anyone else
I'm also concerned about the idea of whether or not we've actually got half a mile of road.
I was gonna say
between us.
that's a
Yes.
good half of an idea. We're at the base of the mountain. Are there trees or anything that we can make a raft out of? Okay.
It's basically been depopulated of all
Gotcha.
foliage in this area, and it's only a quarter of a mile to reach the tower because the lake is half a mile wide.
Oh, so the tower is in the middle. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
how many people have the capacity to fly or to carry other people?
Anyone has the capacity to fly. It's whether or not they can keep themselves moving.
Now the distinction there is fly versus plug.
Falling
If
with
we're starting at ground
style.
level, we can't do that. And I don't have a flight spell.
So I know that if Dracula whistles something, he can.
Jack Nimmer could fly a quarter of a mile. He can do his circular breathing. He can make it.
Yeah, same here. But what about
But Jack Nimmer can't really carry many people when he's trying to do that.
I don't.
Let's
Can
see.
you carry anyone, Dracula?
Not very effectively because,
Not for that long,
Yeah.
I would think.
like, it's the sort of thing that he's got to have his hands to actually blow the whistle. So he can't hold on to people. But if someone hangs on to him, maybe. But then his weight limit is not very much.
My next thing is that Thor might have a spell that enables one other person to fly with him, because I think he's done that in the past. So that one other person could be Yawning.
It could work, but it depends on how far
Yeah,
he could do it.
that is so when Thor gets back, we can ask him.
Yep.
Is Drazzle interested in trying to get to the tower?
He finds it curious. I'm just looking up how far a quarter of a mile is.
It's going to be about 1,200 feet.
I was gonna say, even
Which
for an
is
American, don't ask.
13.
So we're looking at
Yeah.
about
1,300,
400 yards?
yeah, 1,320 feet.
So around 400, 450 yards or so. So about probably 400 meters.
Yeah, it's just with the whole everything in feet, and then you throw miles. I have to do the conversions.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, even as an American, I can't do feet into miles very easily, so totally fair.
Well, I just remember it's about 5,100 feet to a mile approximately.
So I just did it on the computer to figure out what it was. So a quarter of a mile is 1,320 feet, and the most one of you can do to get there is about 60 feet.
Yeah.
So you're sort of a little short.
I was
Little
gonna say, so
short.
I can't fly?
You can fly, but you can't take the entire party. But you did
No.
have an ability to create an air bridge. 60 feet.
Okay. But 60 feet is quite a bit short
Oh.
from...
Yes.
A little
What did
bit.
you say?
From
1,300.
1,300.
you're about 1,260 feet short.
That's why I was hoping Pool has a... Do you have a limitation on your whistle, Jeremy?
Well,
He has to whistle the whole time.
technically he can fly as long as he can whistle.
Okay.
And he has practiced circular breathing, so he can do it continuously,
Yeah.
but it does become a challenge the longer you're doing it for.
Yeah. But technically you could fly up really high, and then every time you had to take a breath, you drop a little bit, start whistling, and then drop a little bit.
Well, let's face it, a quarter of a mile certainly wouldn't be the longest he's flown for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get the impression though, it's sort of fly for a certain amount of time, and if you fail a fortitude save after a little while, you start panting until you hit the ground.
Exactly.
Means you want to fly high enough that you've got a chance to pant.
Yeah.
Yes, which takes quite some time. Better
Yes, so by the time you're up high enough, you probably could have gone straight across.
Alright. So we have Pool back.
Yes.
And Jeremy, you were right. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet.
There you go.
Okay, yep. So, but as I say, technically, if people are confident swimmers, they can keep their head above water.
And you do have a dragon that has a swim speed as well as a fly speed.
Technically, I think I'm the only one who won't have any problems getting across.
Yeah.
Lonnie feels confident swimming, but
Actually, she has a walking and a flying speed, not a swimming speed.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Lani is more used to actually swimming in the sense of actually underwater swimming as well. So she'd have to remember, hey, keep head above water.
yeah, that's the only thing. Is like she'll have to remember to keep her head above water. But like with all the swirling colors and stuff, I don't know if Lonnie necessarily trusts that there's not something underneath the water that would pull her through.
Well, looking at it, you believe the swirling colours are fish.
So no, that's slightly terrifying.
And fish the size of oxen.
Yeah, so
did the
like
fish apparent-
Lonnie looks like a snack to some fish.
Yes.
Did the fish apparently react at all when Calquix played with her feet in the water?
That's when you figured out they were fish, because a bunch of them came up to the edge where the dragon was.
Like carps.
Yep.
But they didn't actually try and attack or eat the legs or anything like that?
They couldn't seem to cross the water.
But even when the foot was underneath the water?
Well, they didn't grab it at that point.
Okay, yep.
Like fishing.
But of course, they didn't notice it was happening until after it happened. Like splash, splash, and all these fish come.
I would
Woo!
say Lonnie would like once noticing that their fish would notice like no, it is actually not safe to try to swim, even keeping your head above water, because these fish will try to
stick her foot in the water for a couple of seconds and watch the fish.
just to mess with them.
Do I have to roll them?
No, they get to roll on you.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Let me know if I get my foot there.
You've got a backup character, don't you?
No, but Grindelwald can technically take my place.
Okay, so apparently they have a hard time trying to bite you. But you do notice that the ones trying to bite you seem to be bigger than you are.
When they go to bite me, can I see any teeth or anything?
It looks like lots and lots of teeth.
I
But also,
will inform Marnie that maybe swimming is not the best option.
it might not be it might not be matter with the got teeth. If they're big enough to pull you in, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But Jack Dimmer is going to try talking to them, activating a charge on his Ring of Animal Friendship, or his Panther Ring.
might be large enough to ride.
To activate Speak with Animals.
Are you going to stick your head under the water?
No, I'm going to try and do it just from above at the present time.
You do realise before you activate your charge that they are on the other side of a portal that you can see through, but not hear through.
Okay, there won't be any audio across.
You've come across many portals that you can see through, very few you can hear through. You've yet to come across one that provides audio from the other side.
Yeah. So to hear them, you have to go there. Bad idea.
Well, and the problem is that yes, I could stick my head through, but it'd be hard to speak underwater.
I know.
I might be able to speak their language, but it'd be hard to actually make the noise. So.
You have to be tidal.
Although technically, I have also got the ability to breathe in any environment, so I probably can speak underwater.
Yeah, but you still have to be able to speak understandably, which is a different thing.
I was gonna say.
But that's what I've got to speak with animals.
The plane
Sorry.
of water. Lonnie does know Aquan, so we're good.
But I'm also thinking that the fish from another plane may not count as animals anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So,
You also believe they would count as elementals first.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. There'd be elemental beast,
Yeah.
yeah.
which means one elemental and two probably not smart enough to talk to.
And normally they don't have the beast classification, they'd just be elementals.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, how to get over to a tower so Pula doesn't have any flying spells?
No, I do not have fly.
Really?
I'm a wizard.
You just usually have so many things that can do so many things.
Hey, Drago.
I've got a list of cantrips this long.
Drazzle looks in your direction.
Would your cart float?
Or fly.
He looks at it and he hands you the reins to the cart,
Oh
and
my gods.
And gestures.
It's terrifying.
That's really terrifying.
And he says to you that Drachno may find out.
I don't
He's
know.
giving you the cart to find out.
He sits down next to the lake with horse and gets his book ready.
Oh,
Right.
just the cart, not the
I
horse.
said okay. His horse still attached to the cart and his horse leading it in. So obviously not.
He's probably sitting there watching her.
Yeah.
What he's gonna do?
Right, okay. How easy is it to push the cart with that horse? I'm not trying to push it in the lake yet. I'm just trying to get an idea of what kind of how heavy does it feel, or does it move?
Well, it's got a lot of bulk to it. It doesn't feel heavy.
And it's a two-wheel cart rather than a four-wheel wagon, isn't it? Remember
It is
that?
a two-wheel cart.
Yeah.
Horse is making deliberate horse noises.
Because I'm a horse.
Which don't always match his movement.
No, well, I can also see him deliberately doing things like, this is a human making horse noises.
Next time, yes. The horse is actually going, nay! Nay!
And sometimes you see him chewing rocks while he's making neigh noises.
Yes. Yes. I did have a PC in one of my games at one point who was a dog who would say woof to people.
That's fun.
Yes.
Of course, Terry Pratchett did it first.
Yes, that's right. If we were to tie ropes to the wagon,
Could do.
or to the cart,
Yes, I've got it.
then we can see if it's going to stay afloat. And if not, we can pull it out before it sinks.
Yep.
Yeah, Lonnie will help you with that.
Tie rope. Yeah.
Tying the rope and holding onto the carts before it, so it doesn't sink. Because she's the strongest, so she'll pull it out.
I'm just wondering whether or not we've got anything that would act as better flotation devices as well.
Honestly, I think that's the best we got.
I could possibly I don't think I've got a spell for making something white.
Well, I don't think it's not so much light that's going to be. It's obviously feeling light itself. I'm just wondering whether or not we've actually got things that will provide actual buoyancy. So, you know, like the classic barrels or things like that.
Yeah.
You might type, but
Yes. Now, if I were
Well, I'm
a
an
ritual
aerologist,
knight-
so I was wondering if I had any crafts or anything that might help with like making things float.
No, they're more for the water guys.
Yeah.
you could make a boat, but yeah, well, we don't have anything to make it float.
I've got skull
Okay.
people just on here. I have no idea what
Jack never carried a boat around.
Someone
for a
who
very long
tells
time.
tales.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Skoll is a Viking bard.
So yes, you successfully tie ropes to the cart.
Yep.
You're skilled enough by now that you don't have to test those ropes.
Yep. And Lani's confident that she can pull and grab the cart if needed.
Yeah, as long as Dracuma's nearby, or everybody else is nearby.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, it's more the idea of if it starts to sink immediately,
Yeah, if it starts to sink, like,
noting the
Lonnie-
fact that the lake does not have effectively a beach. So
Yeah.
the idea is that it's going to be going straight into the depth of the lake.
Yeah.
It's not going to, so if it sinks, you've got to try and pull up over the edge
Yeah.
of a lake rather than actually drag it up. Like
Onto.
it's not like this. It's not like there's a nice boat ramp to take it down
We're
to.
essentially
I've got a strength of
making it go off a
14.
cliff.
That's
So
a good-
could I help?
You all can
Yes.
help.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. So Talkers can be next to me. I'll
Yeah.
take lead.
Like you
Yeah.
could tie a couple of different ropes to it.
Yes.
Did Coco say that? Did it work out Coco's had a swim speed or not?
No.
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 Flying speed.
Flying
Just the fly
and
speed, yeah.
walking, but not swimming.
So,
Although I do have the capacity to change shape to make myself water. So I can actually swim in water. I can give myself webbed feet and webbed fins and things like that. So
It just occurred to me, I thought, well, hang on,
Yeah.
potentially we could
potentially if you put
harness
a rope around my neck and I successfully did I think it might be a
tow
ritual,
it.
I could tow it while you guys were on it.
You wouldn't need a rope around your neck, because we could effectively harness you to the cart, just
Harness me to the cart.
Yeah.
So I was just going back to the shape thing. I just need like 5 different pairs of glasses at the moment, so.
So I guess.
You have successfully got the ropes ready.
Are you ready for us to push it, or do you want us to?
I'm happy to push.
All right. One second.
Sorry, Martin has made this really easy.
Well, they were going to test it before actually tying it into
Oh, well, okay, if you guys wanted to test it first.
Just
And
to
I'll be
test
ready
whether
to
it's going to
just
start, right?
manually pull it.
Yeah.
Because the point is, if it will float, then that means that people who can't fly
Yeah, can ride it.
can.
Yes.
Okay, so Lani
So
starts to.
we'll make certain it's tied up properly, like the back door properly shut and as watertight as
It's
it
as
might be.
watertight as it can get.
Oh no, you might want to send water backwards.
No.
Can you imagine? Wait, that would make the whole thing disappear. Okay.
Okay, so yes, as you
There we are.
slowly get it over the lip of the water,
We'll drain the elemental plane of water into the path. That'll work well.
you hear a crackling sound that Lowell remembers from some of his stranger dreams.
I mention this and say what it is.
It's basically someone trying to push an artifact through a portal.
Trying to push a what?
An artifact.
Oh, right.
This is noises I've made myself.
Yes.
Someone. Okay, I'll mention.
As you
this.
notice that the cart is basically sitting on top of the surface.
I was going to say, yes, so that means the cart
Okay.
actually doesn't go in at all. That's
No,
bonus.
it's not, because this is a portal and that thing's an artifact.
Does it roll
Get
on
down.
top of it?
Ouch! No, it's bad.
You can hear a crackling noise all around it as it's standing on the surface of the portal.
So it's
Okay.
it's standing on top and it's making the sound of metal in a microwave.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of like that, yeah.
Or cracking ice. It's bad noises.
So we should take
We
it
should
off.
take it off the. Yes.
I would take it off.
Yes.
Right, did it appear that the wheels would roll across the top of the surface?
It did.
Of course.
So you think you could possibly tie artifacts to your feet and walk across the surface?
Well, there's the other thing of perhaps if we harness me up to the thing and we do a race, we could race it
Well,
across the surface. It's only a quarter mile, right?
If we get to the tower, does it look as if there is a solid ground entrance, or is it just straight up tower?
Well, it is a quarter of a mile away, so you don't get a
Can't
lot of
see.
detail.
Okay.
And it's currently in the shadow of the mountain.
Fly
So we
over
can't
and have a
see.
look.
Okay.
Because I can fly over and have a look.
That would actually probably be worth saying because, like, you don't want to get there and then there'll be nothing for us to actually rest the cart on because it would be dangerous to leave the cart on top of the
Does Lani not have a spyglass?
I don't think I have a spyglass, do I?
As a sailor?
They're expensive. They're not something most people carry.
It's just I felt like we had one in the party at one stage. So.
I don't remember being.
Yes, one of the PCs that's no longer with us.
Oh.
Yeah, that certainly be.
Tidal used it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Sorry?
gonna say.
Tidal used it a lot.
Okay, yeah, that was it. In fact, I had felt them come on in party, and I'd think, oh, well, Lani was a sailor, so it might have been her.
I mean,
Or him.
very good assumption. Lonnie was more the groundsman than the lookout, so.
Yep, no, that's fine.
And
I was like, to be honest, I was actually looking through my character sheet too, thinking, hang on, I might have the spyglass.
Yes. The thing is, we're now at a level where shelling out for a spyglass is actually worth doing. Because to
Yeah.
us, they're not that expensive. But when we started, no,
Yeah, that's
too
fine.
pricey to buy.
Or like, you know, like for us, we're better off selling out for a set of Eyes of the Eagle or something similar. Except, of course, that the only place to get them from is the iMagic store. In which case, you're likely to get Eyes of an Eagle.
If you ask carefully enough and pay the right amount, then you will actually get what you're after.
Then you generally get a new item.
Yes.
It's the older items that have distinct qualities to them.
Yes, where people have done things like have it modified or have something added to something else.
Okay, but yeah, so, well,
I'm happy to fly over and just have a
we
look.
were working on the idea that, hey, it looks like we should be able to get across there fairly easily because the cart's not going to go through the portal.
I think it would be worth having Calbrooks fly over to make sure that there is a landing
base to
pad
support
or a
it.
base so that we're not resting this artifact on top of a portal, which might cause issues.
I'm happy with that plan, absolutely.
Okay. So.
I fly across.
Okay, as you fly over, you feel yourself beating your wings for what feel like ages, and the tower doesn't appear to get any closer to you.
Oh, okay. So I can't get any closer.
And you spend what feels like half an hour flying there,
Yep.
and haven't got any closer, so you turn around and see you're just above the other people.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so
that
what do
answers
we-
that
What do
question.
we see of her when she's trying to fly for half an hour?
Well, you see her flying rapidly towards the tower, but it's almost like deja vu happening.
Right,
She
so
flies towards the
she,
tower, turns around, and suddenly she's right here.
Well, they're flying towards the tower, you sort of blink and she's flying towards the tower, you blink, she's flying towards the tower.
Right. Yes.
yeah.
So, if people did not understand what was happening there, Calcrix explains you can't actually get there unless you know a magic way.
Well, no. By the code, I'm guessing that means that you can't fly there. Potentially, you have to be in contact with the portal, at least.
I would actually guess you'd actually have to go through the portal and be on the plane of water to get to the tower.
That would be the next stage, but I prefer to
Yeah.
guess on the idea of touching the portal first.
We could hope, but it's not something we're going to do now.
And this makes me feel like
But we have
wrong.
established that we can not do that now.
I read something on these very pages about changing my shape.
It might be your druid.
No, I
This one.
just read it now tonight.
Yes.
When that will be handy, and now I'm trying to go back and find it to look at the specifics,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can't find it, and it's
dang.
because
Yes.
I just want to change my feet to webbing to see if I can swim across
Yeah.
the portal.
And
So
and it does turn out I do
Is there
do
a
actually
way to
fly on my spell list.
digitally check my thing for just something about shape? Because I know it had shape in it.
okay, it's mentioned twice on your page.
Yep.
And change the color, shape, and style of braces. The other one that does it is elemental shape.
That's it. Can I do that?
Let me have a look at elemental shape.
Thank you.
It's a spell.
Yeah.
But remember, the part of the problem with that will be that we don't necessarily want you paddling your feet
So you can
under the level of the portal.
you can turn someone into a water elemental,
Including myself.
including yourself, and it will last for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Um,
How
Well,
often can I do
actually,
that?
considering you only know the air type, you can give someone else a fly speed.
Oh. Okay, so I can't actually use that.
No.
So what about the thing I read about giving myself fins and things?
Look up the word fins.
Or web.
Or webbed. Web was the particular word I saw.
Where is it? So there are 3 bits of web. There's web orb. The spell web. And the spell web.
I'm gonna have to have a closer read of my thing later.
It says the word feet in there.
I saw fin, I saw web.
Fin.
Yeah, Mark can't find it. I don't want to spend too much of that time.
Yeah.
Thing is I just saw it.
yeah.
It's just
Okay.
hurting my brain.
That's a side thing. How hard is it to get hold of spell scrolls and how expensive are they?
Spell scrolls aren't as hard to get because they are designed to be used. They're the price of expendable items. Common spell scrolls are cantrips and first level spells, and then every a level of rarity after that has 2 scrolls.
Right.
One at the lower level, one at the higher level of cost.
Okay.
So, say a third level will be a couple hundred gold.
Third level will most likely be a couple of hundred gold. I can actually look that up fairly easily. Magical items.
Yeah. And and explicitly in this case, costing the same spell at 3rd, 4th, and 5th level. Which I'm presuming is just a 3rd, 4th, and 5th level scroll.
So I'd expect it to be. Let me have a look what I put down for. So the second level scroll is down as 200, and the third level scroll down as 300.
Okay. Makes
Cool.
sense.
So 2, 3, 4, 500 for 2, 3, 4, and 5th level.
And let me see. Rare scrolls.
Just the-
Haven't got them in there at the moment.
Right.
But they would be in the process of about 6,000 for the 4th level spell,
Right. Oh.
and probably about maybe about 8 to 10,000, maybe 9,000 for the 6 levels for the
Right.
5th level spell. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So it's
They bump.
doable. Yeah, it bumps a lot. Because fly is a 3rd level spell,
Yeah.
but if you use a higher level slot to cast it, you can use it on more than yourself.
Yeah.
More people than yourself. One person your extra spell slot.
So, from what I'm getting from all of this, we can't fly over the tower.
Yeah.
It would be dangerous to try to swim keeping our heads above water because of the fish. We can try staying on the cart. No, that won't work because
No,
Cutter's
that's
can't
not
fly
gonna
there,
work
so that's
either.
not gonna work
No,
either.
it's not going to work.
So far, looks like our only option is to go through said portal. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, that,
It's
to me,
the plane of water. We'd have to be able to breathe underwater.
Not a problem. Don't worry about it. I can't breathe underwater. That Lonnie,
Can Lonnie swim for a quarter of a mile?
she quartered that.
it's only a 400 metre swim underwater. You'll be fine.
Fine.
No.
Drazzle does get Draconomy's attention.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shows him a picture, basically saying time changes as you reach the tower.
So
as
you
in,
could enter the tower at one age and then.
as in anything with the plane of water also deals with the element of time.
Oh, yes, of course.
They are tightly bound, and he says the tower is the thing holding the portal to this location.
Uh-huh.
If the tower moves, the portal moves.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not the portal with the tower, it's the tower with the portal around it. Yeah, that's another
Well-
reason not to touch the tail of the barge pole.
Well, except for the fact that it's why is it suddenly appearing around Ylaruam, around random points of Ylaruam?
Well, yeah, at the moment it's not for us to deal with unless someone gives us a way to do something about it, get to it,
Do we still have the
find out about
Oh.
it.
staff of Redrin?
No.
Well, if we
I
still
still
had
have that.
Redrin staff to contact Redrin about our
The world
assignments.
does.
Oh,
I've got
does
it.
it?
Yeah,
So-
We
okay.
could
Hopefully
contact
someone's got it.
Redrin and say,
Here's
we've
the
come
thing.
across this
There's
thing.
this thing.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do?
What would you like done with it?
You could.
So is
I will
Lure,
try it.
is Lure particularly confident that if we were to go across in the cart, with the cart actually staying on top of the portal, presumably there'd be something that has to actually go into the water somewhat to actually propel the cart, because it won't walk on the water.
The problem,
But if we
is,
got there,
yeah, the problem is any artifact going through a portal, it's hard to do, takes practice, And if
No, no.
something goes wrong, it goes very, very wrong indeed.
Yeah, no, but that's okay. The fact that because the artifact won't go through the portal
Yes.
without a lot of effort, obviously, yes, it makes a disturbing noise when it's sitting on top of the portal, while the interaction is not great.
Yes. But you can.
Do we think that the contact with the portal, unlike trying to fly, would allow access towards the castle?
I don't know enough about how.
I'll give Llewellyn an
portal
insight
works.
roll.
Hold on, give me a think. Wait a moment.
Yep, let's guess.
And while you're doing that, I'll get Ariadne to come up with what
So
she
two
found.
things.
Yeah.
Draknamar already had the cart on the water for a second. Did it move? Do you remember?
They pulled it off.
Well, it was
It was
you could
crackling,
roll the
but
wheel
did
on
it make any progress before you pulled it off?
We didn't try and push it that far.
We didn't try to push it.
We
I would say
confirmed
other
that we
than
confirmed that the
motion
wheels would
it's
roll on it.
put on there.
Yeah.
I don't-
We'd have to propel it.
I don't know that I'll use it this time, but just in case, in this scenario, would I be able to use that bottom corner one?
Because it's probably, like, yeah, for Ariadne, it's probably more the idea that the movement we tested of it would have been across the edge of the lake, so it's still on the edge of the lake. We weren't trying to push it go forward.
Yeah,
we
unfortunately
need
that
to
only
have-
works on yourself, but yes, you can do that.
But it is an option.
It is.
I will wait for Claude to contact Redran, and then I'll either...
And what was
22.
22?
Yeah,
Page
the air
down.
conditioner hates me.
Well, I tried to make sure people wouldn't be too hot on that side.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
so,
unfortunately now it's
Possibly out of order.
I'll try to angle it a bit.
it's not your fault.
Totally the air conditioner.
Thank you.
Hopefully that helps. Okay, so Llewell thinks that depending on the range of effect of the touching the portal, you wouldn't want to be partly through the portal with the static it's giving off, because it's technically shutting the portal down where it's touching. So someone who's partly submerged in the area of effect of what's keeping the car from going through may find themselves split in two.
Sounds bad.
Which means paddling actually has an issue because we've run out of paddle.
Yeah, and that's right. The problem we've got is that, yeah, we haven't got any way of propelling it without someone being partially submerged.
Anything,
Unless we've got someone who can fly who's towing us.
or the fact that it makes the surface no longer a portal where it's touching.
Which is the other problem. That's what the crackling noise is. And if that gets any worse, it's probably going to get worse quickly, at which point the whole thing falls through the portal.
Or you can walk on the area where it's crackling.
I was going to say, yeah, that's the other one I was going to go. Or it's safe to swim in that area if it actually goes straight down, it becomes effectively more water. So,
What was your Ariadne?
Yeah.
Just clarifying, because I had a pain brain. So you're saying that when the wagon's on there, there's a crackling, which is turning the portal blow off. But that also means that, in theory, if we walk alongside or one of us pulls the cart while everyone walks alongside the cart where it's crackling, we can potentially cross because the time element is turned off because the portal element is turned off. Therefore, the thing that's stopping me from flying through is turned off. I know there's concerns. I just want to confirm that that's what's happening. So, in theory, you put the wagon on there, it turns all of that off, someone drags it through, and we get to the other side. Is that
That is,
correct?
that is in theory, yes, as long as nothing else goes wrong.
yeah, also the fact then of if the portal is effectively deactivated underneath the wagon, does that effectively put the wagon on the solid ground of the mountain, the hillside and mountaintop?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I
So
think.
it does mean that yes, you could physically quite happily walk within the area effect of the loss of portal. Yep.
Well, I'd happily pull it if Horse doesn't want to.
But yeah, as mentioned, if it's crackling, okay, it's dangerous, but because it's sometimes not a portal at that point. You could actually walk on the crackle bit.
I'm looking at this
So-
as risk versus rewards. That's why I'm saying maybe we should wait till you contact Redruin and see what he says.
Yes.
Because if
Yeah.
Redruin says that is a big danger, it's a big problem, we need to investigate it, well then of course we would put more effort into this and take more risk.
Yes.
But if Redruin goes, oh, you don't want to touch that, run away, well then we can go, well, not our problem to solve today.
Yes.
Bye-bye, happy tower,
That's
splashy
somebody
spell
else's
water.
problem.
Yes.
I'm more thinking that Redruin's more likely to say,
Bad tower
that's
investigate.
interesting. We want to know more about the interesting
Yeah,
thing."
no, I have a feeling she'll say that too, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to do no harm to find out,
Yeah,
and
what
all
is-
we have to do is have the staff to do that.
Yeah, what he's likely to do though is go, we need to know more about that. Here's a thing that'll let you do that.
Yeah, well, that's the hope.
Yeah.
A drink, please.
So to stream more energy.
Yeah, so that's true. Okay, so while Llewell is getting ready to pull out the staff, he notices that a horse has his head in the lake.
Also, is he heading what?
The lake.
The lake. Oh, okay.
Horse, are you drinking or trying to eat some of the fish?
His whole head's under the water.
So he can't hear us anyway.
Jezzel
He-
picks him, he
he-
sticks his head up, and you just see water pouring out of the front of the horse for a while.
Is Drazzle standing beside Horse while Horse puts his head in the water?
I know, Drazzel's busily drawing pictures.
Okay.
Okay. So if you, are you looking at what he's drawing?
Well, certainly, considering the fact that Drazzle showed you the pictures to try and talk about the time all of things, I will keep maintaining an idea of kind of where I understand what he's doing and if he's going to extrapolate further.
I want to see what he's
Well, you can lead a horse to plainer water, but you can't make it drink. Or
Sort of-
properly.
Well, you do know that Drazzel is water type
Dragon.
dragon, yeah.
So he's same element aspect as we have just human.
And horse is also a water aspected, though most people haven't seen that. He's a water drake.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
only-
as far as I know, he is a special type of horse.
Yeah, there's only a couple of us that have actually seen it. I reckon he's one of them.
I was gonna say, this is like Kesley's first time learning that horse is a drake.
And so yes, looking at the pictures he's got, he does have what appears to be pictures of some of your possible suggestions. Looks like someone's swimming with them basically separating into two places.
I like to imagine it's either really well detailed drawings or stick figures. Both are fine.
There's another one of looks like someone on the other side of the lake trying to get out.
And the real question here is he effectively writing the preliminary epigraphs like you do for celebrities and things like that in preparation for people dying for the press, so they can put it out immediately?
You think he's getting ready for these suggestions to see which one's going to happen?
Yeah.
Though it does appear that you can push the cart out onto the lake.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear you can actually pull it onto the lake.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough on the fact that the cart's got to actually create the loss of portal first.
Yep.
Yes.
And any of the pictures that show something pulling onto the lake, and it doesn't look good.
The other one, of course, is what happens when you try and put Redruin's staff onto the lake, or just cut the end into the. Does it go into the water at all, or does it get the nice crackle to say, no, I'm not going there?
Almost definitely going to crackle.
Well,
That's right.
but I'm wondering about
Okay.
how much force it could hold before it pushed through. Not that I'm saying you want to push it through.
The problem is if you test it like that, that is trying to push it through.
Give Llewellyn an
And
insight roll first.
Applying your will is one of the things that makes that sort of thing succeed.
So
the
before
thing is, it's
Llewellyn does it,
cheesy.
insight roll.
Yes. I want to contact Redrin first. 22.
Okay, so you know Redrin's stuff is fire and energy type magic.
And that's water. I'm not going to touch that to that poison. No.
I was gonna say that would cause explosion.
And opposing alignments generally
Bad types.
explosive.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not using Redrin's staff because boom.
Okay. The point is that Dracula has not got any artifacts to have played with or worked this out. So.
Yes. Well, part of the problem is we've only got limited number of artifacts.
I like that our whole
That's not going
plan so far has been poking the sick.
Yes. The problem is, here's the thing, I have 2 sticks and both of them are fire aspected.
So bad times.
Bad times.
Bad sticks, bad sticks.
So I guess
I want to read your sword now.
No, they're
So you say
Both-
yeah.
you can rub them together to start a fire.
So I guess we'll try to
I could point one at the ground and start the fire. Yeah. Yes. That's a point. It means that makes them sort of fire aspect. Ow. Yeah. And the other thing with using my sword is I've actually practiced on pushing it through portals. So if I touch that to the portal, it'll probably go through.
yeah.
And if
And
it
then
does,
explode.
that would be a major breach from the god's perspective.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's
Okay.
an act of war. That is.
So I guess it comes down to, did you get a response from Redrin?
Yes. Do I get a response from it?
So as you try to contact Redrin, is he available? Apparently he's available. Cool.
Yay.
So you don't get a busy signal
Brilliant.
as it rings through, and you have a quite bright and alert voice saying, "Llewellyn, how are you doing? I'm surprised I didn't hear from you earlier."
We were rushing a little bit after getting hold of the orb and dealing with it.
How did that all go?
Went food, but not where we were. So
where did the orb go?
Ask Drazzle. I think it went over Phaeacia.
I said, "Give me a moment." Yeah. I asked him. He said it went backwards.
So went over Phaeacia some time ago. So was there a time where there was a big boom over Phaeacia?
Do you mean Phaeacia or you mean Alphacia?
Phaeacia City.
Alphacia.
Alphacia.
The Alphacia
Alphacia.
capital.
Sorry. Yeah.
He says, not that he knows of.
So not yes.
So probably either a long time ago or not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, remember from
Either
Dragon's
way,
perspective,
it's
step
not- it
backwards does
wasn't
not necessarily
now.
mean backwards now.
Yeah, I'm just telling Redrin what.
Yeah.
So accepting what he said about the Rock Drazzle. So yeah, so that's where it went
Well,
because
it
it was
didn't
going
go
to go.
back
It was
us.
about to go boom anyway. Drazzle put it somewhere where he obviously thought it was worth doing. He was on both sides of that portal too, so he passed it to himself, and then things went rather red on the other side.
Well, he's here as well, and this one didn't get it.
Probably a
There's
good thing
another
for
one of
character.
him- There's another one of him over with working for the Sultan just over here as well. Anyway, the reason
He's
I
counted
called,
at least 5 of them at any one given time.
yeah, I'm not entirely surprised. The reason for this call is we're next to a lake with a tower in it, and the lake is actually a portal to the plane of water.
Does that
Do
mean
you-
you're somewhere in Ylaruam at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, so about portals of water in Ylaruam, they have a few side effects. As from what he's gathered so far, the gods cursed the land to remove water from the land,
So this
which
is-
then broke its connection to the plane of water, which then causes it to randomly connect in various places around it.
and probably suck all the water out of it as it's doing so.
Well, it's not bringing any water in,
Yeah.
and it may disappear while you're in it.
Yes, well, one of the reasons I didn't want to touch it.
Or it
So-
may explode in fountains of water that are filled with beasties beyond comprehension, who then disappear by the next morning.
Yes, and the ones that we have seen, which are within comprehension, are quite big enough. Thank you very much. Plus, of course, there's the possibility of flooding a good portion of the country.
It's considered to potentially have a genie in a tower in the middle of the lake being
Yeah, that's him over there.
the source of its connection to the land. Because the land you're in is dominated by genies.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
of course it is.
Yeah, because we're blocked.
So,
They
Fixing
while
it-
they don't have a say in anything, they are the power of the
Yeah.
region.
yeah, they're being used as a power source. So, attempting to fix it would insult whichever god did it.
We don't want to talk to the djinn in the tower, right?
Well, you could probably try to talk to the genie in the tower, but I'd recommend having some sort of way to appease any of the water gods involved before getting there.
Plus, I would prefer to have some way of getting out of the plane of water under our own power. If we did that.
Every report we've had of someone crossing that has to use planet travel to get back.
Yes. So exactly. So I'm not touching it with a barge pole
And
until a better train.
and it exists in the desert at in various locations at any given time. You probably never see it in the same spot twice.
Yeah. So it would be something to do if the god who cursed them got some sort of apology and decided to.
His
fix
research
it.
says it's not a god.
Oh,
So that makes it even harder. It
It's-
makes it a
could it be
diplomat-
Jin
diplomacy.
cursed?
It's more of many gods.
Many gods curse them. What did they do?
It's cursed enough that no one can translate their language.
Which is why I couldn't understand that language before.
There you go. That's why we're hearing those whispers.
Yeah, it's the same thing. We can't read Lithium.
And if you do learn it, you'll unlearn it as soon as you come near one of their towns, because that's the curse.
So, is Richard saying we don't have to go to this one? Move
Yeah.
on.
This is something to leave for 8 levels or so.
I was gonna say probably that.
No, this is something where I need to be able to use either an item that gives planar travel, or be able to do a scroll that does planar travel
Yeah.
before we go there.
That's
The Mezzakeen staff may save you if you get there.
Yes, save.
May.
Nay.
I would have to actually fully activate that staff before I do anything with it. So that's what level 15, wasn't it? Yeah. We're looking at level 18.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're looking at 10 levels from now.
Yeah, absolutely.
8 levels, 9 levels from now.
So like
A lot.
we're half of where we need to be for that.
Yes.
Well, all these things are live in the world, no matter what level you are.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's cool.
It's recognizing it's too big for us boys.
Absolutely.
Out of our price range.
And time protects itself.
Yes, I got that from Basil to an extent.
You need someone with access to time magic to get in.
And
Yeah, that's
if
actually a good point.
our Drazzle has the capability for that, which I don't.
By the time we can get out using planar travel, he will.
He would. Yeah. Once we get that Drazzle, yeah. This Drazzle, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe yes. Who knows? Drazzle's a mystery.
You have seen him tinker with stuff, but no,
Not to that level.
he doesn't demonstrate abusing time in any way.
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
say I think the most powerful time magic we saw is when he used time magic to pull all of the elves. That's the most
Yes,
time
but
magic we've seen. him
yeah, but
use.
that wasn't Drazzle. That wasn't Drazzle's power.
No, that was Drazzle using somebody else's power. So
That's
it's like-
right.
This would be like Drazzle needs his own power to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Drazzle using Ilsundor's power.
Yeah.
So we doing Awesome Lord's power?
Yeah, you believe he actually combined 3 gods' powers.
Cool.
We're good to move on though. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. That's
Yes,
a gist
so
of the conversation.
at this point, yes.
Well, you think you could reach it. You're not guaranteed you can get out of it.
Well, unless there's sufficient reason to try to reach it, I don't see why we would. Because it'd be a lot of risk to ourselves unless there's an absolute, like, if Roger's like, yes, you need to go there to sort this out, then I don't see any reason why we don't just leave the Jinn alone. Although, if the Jinn was open to having coffee, Carl Cripps is happy to prepare coffee. She knows how to make good Ylaruam coffee now.
I rolled a 22. What does Mom know about Jin?
Not much, because they don't have much in the Mackay side of things. But rulers of the sea and elemental water, which
Yes.
your people have talked about,
Yeah.
do say that some of the elemental rulers do have coral towers.
Cool. So I'm just like, we're gonna.
It could
Nope,
be
I'm out of
the
there.
home of the Ali Master of Water, one of the greater gods.
Yep.
Which would be an irony to have it in a land where water is no longer
It's
flowing.
Really funny, honestly. So yeah, Lonnie thinking about it, just like, yeah, based off the conversation with Gregory, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is a not my problem.
But on the other
For
side
now.
of the coin, the Ylaruam do honor water above everything else.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's appearing here constantly might, in various parts of the country, might be because of the belief that people keep bringing it back, even though it doesn't
So-
actually have a connection to the world anymore.
So
Yeah, it's got a
because
connection to the
belief
people.
of the people keep drawing
Yes.
it here. Interesting. Yep. Okay. Yeah,
Which
Lonnie.
may either amuse or annoy the genie involved.
Exactly. I think
Well, even though she can't have coffee with the Jinn, Calgris is going to make up a bunch of coffee, have an afternoon snack, and then happily head back with the others if that's what they would like to do.
yeah, I think we'll go ahead and start heading towards.
Okay, you start heading towards the.
I want people to visualize
wherever
though
this
that
town is.
Eep has her own cup. So
Yeah.
Heading still heading towards the Sinuyu, whatever it was.
Sinsa Menu.
Yeah.
Which might have a description in here. Do I actually have locations? So it's usually, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Very mysterious little town.
Well, it does.
Hey, at least we
Usually
figured it out.
The biggest section is the economy.
Huh? Really? Interesting.
Most of the descriptions of the area is the nations, the small little emirates, and each emirate is described, and that's in the economy section of the book.
Ah.
It's pretty cool. I like the pictures in there too. Very nice.
Okay, so yes.
Nice when they put
It is.
You don't need that part yet. Okay,
Cool.
so you managed to get back on the trail after about another hour or so, heading back the other way, and find yourself at Sinsa Menu not too far later.
What?
So basically, I'd say by nightfall that night.
Yep.
And from what you know of, from what Rogerine said, you don't expect to find the Rainbow Lake in the same location. I think that's how you see it.
No, that's right. But well, hey,
It-
we've headed 2 o'clock already, so
Yeah, but if we're going to do it, if we get to the point of doing something about it, and it's something that is something we're going to be doing, then
know where to start looking.
we're going to be able to find it.
well, it's okay. So yes, wander around Ylaruam and it'll bound appear.
It is rumoured to move every sunset.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, so you have no trouble resting up there. There is talk about how a dust cloud moved past through here over a day ago.
Yeah.
Any talk more specific?
Just that no one wanted to go anywhere near the dust cloud, and all their horses refused to come out.
Yes. Not entirely surprising,
No.
given what it are.
And they do say that the dust cloud came from the Great Salt Basin direction, which generally doesn't have anything living out in that area.
Okay. Unless you're a dragon trying to hide, you want to go somewhere where not many people go, then, you might go there.
Yeah, for sure.
There's also the Belly of Death.
Dragons get lonely, so maybe they had some friends and maybe with them.
Yes.
A few 999 other dragons.
Okay, so yes, there is a.
Albrix was a little bit disappointed she didn't see any of the dragons. Because she is a dragon. It'd be nice to see other dragons.
Yes.
There is a big coffee festival going on.
So Calbrix doesn't even bother organising a room for the night. She just wanders around the festival. All the coffee marts, all the coffee. Brindle Waffle hand out notifications and things of where to find coffee and help her collect samples.
So yes, you find that you end up with probably about 20 or 30 different coffee stalls here, each showcasing different blends from around the world.
You're buying 150 different things, aren't you?
Probably. Calcrix and Brindle Waffle have been working on building a coffee network across the lands and getting coffee from all sorts of them. She trades in coffee. It's become a diplomatic barter.
And you find that there is a Calcrick stand here.
Ah, well, that's not surprising. Brindle Waffle?
One of his cousins.
Yeah, well, yeah. Gnomes are prone to do that.
And there's what appears to be a white claw on the label.
And the white dragon with the jazz wings. Surely I have a special blend called All That Jazz.
White Dragon with jazz
Oh,
wings and a franchise.
Yes.
There are a lot of different.
Is your do you have a blend called White Claw?
Oh, yeah.
The claw's the law.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different
And I'm
blends.
an air dragon, so, I'll have other blends that'll go with that.
But the tagline on the stall is "It's uplifting."
Very good, very good. I like it.
And if you're feeling like you're lacking energy and you're a little bit down, just have a little bit of All That Jazz and we'll put the dance back in your feet.
I love it.
The music back into your wings. It's not
And-
quite like the drink that gives you wings. It's more like the coffee that gives you wings.
Well, it's better than the one that gives you gas.
Yeah, that's true.
No need to help you toot your own horn.
I will happily do. Do we meet anyone special at the coffee festival?
No one that you haven't already met.
Okay.
But you do get to meet some people you haven't met for a long while. You even find a bunch of Zarganites off to the side.
Oh, really? Like Gorm Zarganites or just Zarg? Oh no, Queen of Darkness Zarganites. Oh, okay. Yep. I asked after my avatar. What is his name? Herman. How's Herman?
So Herman's doing fine.
Okay.
Hasn't had any princesses jump on him recently.
I think that's probably for the best. That current princess will no longer ever jump on Herman again. I believe she's off in the middle of her homelands, creating slaughter out of Hellenic Knights. I give a little, because I pen pal with Herman, I give a letter and some more coffee supplies and some biscuits for them to pass on to Herman when they come to see.
Okay.
And of course the Queen of Darkness, if she's so inclined.
She happily, they happily take it, and they hand you a bag of cave mushrooms.
Cave mushrooms, awesome. Gotta find a way to put this into these. Ylaruam and I spend the rest of the night talking about how to make mushrooms into an edible object because they're fantastic.
Well, you do remember that
They started.
these mushrooms all have hallucinogenic effects.
So very thin slices.
Maybe very thin slices and perhaps maybe into a coffee blend.
This coffee makes you see things.
I asked the Zargonites if they could possibly post me back a little bit of the dirt that the mushrooms grow in at some point.
Or what they grow in.
Yeah, whatever
No,
it is that they
yeah,
grow in.
whether- yeah.
I'm considering testing the mix, like a soil potting mix.
They said that they don't know what it grows in.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's not part of what they look after.
I'll have to figure that out. That's okay. I'll get onto that.
They normally trade for the mushrooms.
Ooh, who do they trade with?
But they trade with the goblins who work the fields.
That could be interesting. I'll keep that in mind then. for
Wouldn't be
some point.
surprised if it grows in dead goblins.
Now it's starting to get a bit creepy for Cavalcrix. She's getting put off the idea, which is probably their point.
Yes. Well, the thing is, if it grows in dead goblins, it will grow in anything that's been slaughtered, so you can grow it in sort of the leavings from butchers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
but it doesn't
really
taste the
Cavalcrix's
same.
thing.
It's nothing like dead goblins.
Again, not really Cavalcrix's thing. Maybe if it was butterflies, she'd be more
With
interested
dead
in
butterflies.
Yeah, it would just grow
that. No,
butterflies.
not dead butterflies.
Ground up butterflies.
Alright.
Dead caterpillars.
All of this stuff would be great for potting mixing. Cavalcrix is gonna think about potting mixing.
I now have visions in my head of someone getting a grate and just rubbing the different things against the grate to go, yes, I'm creating a popping mix.
I'm not going to put any people in my potting mix, so I've got to think about my users.
I'm sure you can get many people addicted to these hallucinogenic mushrooms if you wish to.
What you want to do?
Horribly why are they giving me hallucinogenic mushrooms then?
Microdosing.
She's-
is the thing.
Cavalcrix is essentially
Yeah, that's
a
what it's
child.
thin
Why are
slices.
these guys giving her hallucinogenic mushrooms?
A lone golem.
Because by the bulk of you, if it works on you, they know it'll work on humans.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
true.
see.
Yes. Yes. A lone golem with mushrooms growing can follow you around.
Well, this was fun until they were hallucinogenically groaning dead things. And now Cavalcrix is happy to move on.
It's okay, no, it's alright. They're not hallucinogenically growing in dead things. They're really growing in dead things.
Oh, that's better then.
Cavalcrix is of a childlike mind, so it did take her a little time to process the consequences of giving people hallucinogens. But having considered it now, she chooses not to.
Well, they do say that these Argonauts do say this will help people get high.
No, she doesn't want to get people high. She just...
Floating.
Why are they giving me these mushrooms, by the way?
Partly because your tagline of you like to uplift people.
Yeah.
They're helping you get people high.
I'll discuss it with Grindelwald.
He's more than happy to discuss it with you at a later point.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah,
I
after
will
he
take
sold
them
out.
and pass on my missives
Right.
to her.
So when I get to doing bushes and awakening them around the house, if I awaken a couple of coffee bushes,
You never know, it might already been awakened. She did come from the Queen of Darkness.
Yeah.
Are these mushrooms specifically for Eve or anything like that?
You could try.
I ask Eve what she eats when she's normally at home. Does she eat these mushrooms?
Eve's happy to eat anything.
I understand that. But what does she normally eat when she's at home?
Coffee beans?
Fair enough.
Because you're home.
Yeah, that works. I feed her.
Yes. So I'm just imagining bushes that can harvest the berries off themselves and then roast the coffee beans and then serve you coffee.
Would that technically be, though, something akin to chopping parts of yourself and then cooking it and
No.
feeding someone else?
No, growing your hair.
Yeah, let me roast my offspring and feed it to you.
Because berries are technically the way plants grow. Although,
So let's awaken one and
plants
ask
actually make their berries edible so that they will be eaten. So technically, his
roasted.
idea is not far
but
off.
not roasted.
Well, technically, they don't mind how they are. Like, in fact, if you look at the Australian bush, it requires fire to open their seeds.
Open, but they can get overheated,
That's
and
true.
that does kill them.
Anyway,
And that is against them.
going
However-
off the topic, did I get any messages or anything from them, from any of my Ylaruam people, and is any of it relevant to our current explorations of Ylaruam?
You did get one from the dragons left with your coffee house,
Yep.
saying that events have happened in the northern reaches and they've sent some people to deal with it.
Are they giving me any advice regarding these events? Like, don't go that way for X amount of time?
Basically, by the time you get this letter, we'll probably have dealt with it.
Okay, alright. That's it. Well, Calcrix feels a little bit better. She wasn't forgotten. Here I was hoping they'd give me like a message towards, this is how the next step in your...
Evolution as a dragon.
No, more like, our mission.
No, the dragons have their own mission.
That's true.
Yes.
At least it didn't say your next mission is and then explode 5 seconds after I finish reading it.
Or while you're reading it.
That would be
Or because you're reading, blows up in your eyes.
Well,
Are
it's
you
just the
staying
fact that-
here or?
We're going.
The message would have said it'll explode in 10 seconds. Unfortunately, she was a slow reader.
Yeah.
Yes.
This message will be...
That's really funny.
Now I'll never know what it says.
No.
So I guess we're looking for a place to stay for the night before we head out from here.
Okay, so yes, you are able to get put up for the night. You do have some notoriety in town, considering one of your members has one of the coffee tents.
Yes.
One of the vendors.
Which means some of the other ones are going to say, try ours, it's better.
They can, but if they get too aggressive, Calcrix can always walk.
They also do have a saying of never anger a dragon.
Perfect.
But I'm more of in the competitive spirit, so I will try everybody else's coffees and
You do get free taste tests.
and talk to all the people at 100 miles an hour.
So morning comes around and the dragon sort of wanders into where everyone else is, having been up all night.
I've had sufficient caffeine to keep going.
And doesn't look like the dragon actually needs any sleep. The dragon actually looks more energized than when you went to bed.
Does this mean they'll have to make a roll if they want to understand what I'm saying because I'm talking that fast?
Completely up to you.
We'll see how we go.
She is talking faster than normal, but not faster than you've heard.
That's very nice.
Fair enough.
So, I
Where
guess
are we heading to again?
we're going to the capital.
Ylaruam City.
City, yeah. Because we've also got to see the salt.
Yes.
Salt.
Yes.
Okay, you follow the road into Ylaruam City. It takes you 3 more days to get there.
Wow. Then we'll dust clouds, hopefully.
Yes.
And it does have little roadside stops at the end of each day where you can rest up for a caravan or horses.
Okay, cool.
The reason you don't get there faster is if you stop away from one of those spots, no water.
Yeah, you've got to be next to where the water is. Unless you've got a flask of never any water, okay? Or everlasting. Something along those lines.
Yes. It's still, from memory, it's still limited in the amount of water, but it's a lot.
Yeah. You don't want to leave the thing open.
Or a cleric that can cast clear water.
Yeah.
Whereas you do have learnt that the account of endless water doesn't produce water in Ylaruam.
Doesn't it? Because we
Neither.
wanted specifically to go to
I know.
Ylaruam. So it doesn't produce water?
You found that no water actually came out here because of the god's curse.
So what were the party drinking all that time we were underneath the thing? Because we're all using our flasks of...
Underneath which thing?
Josh, Emmy and I, when we were in Ylaruam, we were all using that same
That was at a different spot of Ylaruam.
flask. So it doesn't work in this part of Ylaruam.
So when you were in the Valley of Death, it actually worked.
It works in the Valley of Death.
That didn't work outside of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
You never actually tried it outside of it.
Well, it worked fine for what you bought it for at the time you needed it.
Yeah.
You had no reason to expect it wasn't going to work.
I think I've asked Martin several sessions ago when we were first coming back to Ylaruam. I'm like, well, I don't need to buy anything in terms of provisions.
Didn't know you needed to.
Yeah, that's okay.
It was why the teleporting portal is so weird to people, is because water doesn't work properly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's okay. I
And
just
most of the time you need to be near vegetation to actually open a portal to a plane of water.
yeah, that's okay. I didn't.
Doug's Dracula's create water as a first level spell. Is it effective or not?
It's effective at each of the rest stops,
Okay.
but outside of the rest stop it doesn't seem to produce anything.
Okay.
So if you do use your decanter in the rest stop, it does work. It just doesn't work away from it.
Very interesting.
So we have access to water anytime we want, as long as we're near water.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a
think
lot
that
of
sums
water.
it up.
They don't have a lot of water available in those spots, though.
No,
So the
that's
fact
right.
that you
So
can produce your own means that you still get access to water.
yeah, that's right. The advantage is that sense. Yeah.
And it's generally pay gold per cup if you're a visitor.
And potentially we could actually offer some to top up supplies.
Yeah. Yep. Provided they work. Okay. Cool. So we're in Ylaruam 2 days later? Yep.
It was 3 days. So you arrived the day before the full moon into Ylaruam City.
Is there any history of lycanthropy in Ylaruam?
This history of lycanthropy everywhere.
I was curious whether or not the mention of the full moon was relevant to the particular storyline or just...
You could travel by night more easily because there's more light.
Oh, yeah, good point.
And let's see.
Unless, of course, it's like tonight, in which case it's a blood moon,
Yeah.
and the lycanthropes are really out and about.
Yes. I have a feeling they won't need coffee either.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it is an important holy day for the full moon, which will be the next day, is an important holy day for the sphere of matter. As in one of 3 months where it's the season of matter.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, Earth, yeah.
Okay.
So Earth, growth,
Yeah.
life, creation, a lot of stuff relates to it. Abundance.
And considering Ylaruam's attitude towards water, I'm guessing Earth is pretty important,
Yeah.
Earth is
as far as
pretty-
Ylaruam's concerned.
Yes.
So it's the first full moon of the Earth traditions. So they each have 3 moons themselves, and between each of the traditions is darkness. So the changing from one element to another is its own festival.
Yeah.
So there are 4 festivals for entropy and 3 for all the others.
So is that why there's a coffee festival just before the full moon, so one could stay up later for festivities?
It probably means that accommodation in Ylaruam might be challenging.
Well, it's also the celebration of growth.
Yeah.
So they will always celebrate growth with things that grow. So you reach Ylaruam, and there they have fruits from around the world. Everywhere you see market stalls full of exotic fruits.
No, I'm supposed to try everything.
Most of them are willing to let you try if you pay.
She was presuming that would be a requirement.
You didn't have to pay the last one,
That was coffee.
and you were one of the vendors as well. So yes, you do end up spending probably about 10 gold, all up trying more food than you think you could eat, but managed to get through.
Lonnie's 100% calculates on this, comparing, giving notes.
You're actually finding fruits from the Mackay people which have not tasted for many months.
And I'll tell Calcrax that, oh man, I remember my parents made this really great plan with this, and then I broke my arm, and it was a whole thing.
You don't want to eat that one unless you've got that to go with
Like, this
it.
goes really well with this certain fish. Yeah.
Is Drazzle and or Plural planning on paying appropriate respects to the Sultan
That is
this time through?
the core of what I'm here, what I'm actually going to be doing here.
Drazzle cannot enter, he says.
No,
Because
other drizzle.
maybe there. As I remember, it was originally Calcrix and going. But
Yeah.
as a water aspected human, respect-wise, should I be going with it?
Well, you'd be honored here because of your water aspect.
But that's kind of it, right?
That's kind of it.
Okay, so then there's no reason for me to go. I would
You're
probably.
welcome to come.
Whereas if you had been a paladin, you'd be put above everyone else, so it'd
Right.
be water aspected.
Yeah.
Is it?
Water aspect person, paladin, water aspect paladin. Okay.
Because even a fire aspect of paladin is treated fairly here, whereas every other fire type of person is hated.
Yeah.
Before I went around all the market stalls and tried to pull food, I would have sent a message up explaining that we missed the Sultan last time, and that you and I would like an audience.
So
with
you
the Sultan as well.
explain this to a guard, or do you write a note?
I would write a letter and give it to the appropriate person who would receive that and convey that to the Sultan. And just be being careful.
Has your character spent a lot of time in Ylaruam?
But
Has your character spent a lot of time in Ylaruam?
it's spent a fair amount of time in Ylaruam, but mostly underneath a pyramid. But last time
So,
we were here, we
little contact with the culture.
we were told, yeah, so I would think a letter would be more appropriate, wouldn't it? Like a little.
Okay, so you have a +7 to your culture check using wisdom.
Hopefully Clue is rolling as well because he's involved
Okay,
in all
you
this.
think you know how to contact the right people.
How do I think to contact them?
You sure you can figure it out? It won't take too long.
I ask Clue because I am still a child, so I'm used to checking with adults before I do stuff.
I'm sure if you just write it into the sky and make everyone look up, they'll all notice.
Ask Clue.
There's a cantrip for it. Looks really nice.
Yeah, I've got that too. But
Right.
how do you want to do this? Since we're supposed to do it together.
Personal contact.
Personal contact.
Yes.
So you're going to go up there?
Talking to them. Requesting an audience is a different thing. That may take a letter.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting.
But yeah, okay. Yeah,
Suggesting-
a letter of introduction,
Yes.
so that whoever's going to be making a decision on whether he gets to see the salt actually has something to read.
Yes.
It does help that one of the people involved is likely to be the Basil that's here.
Yes. Yeah. Because he was
So, yeah.
he was a representative of some sort.
Yeah. But what type of function was he?
He was an administrative from...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't allowed to leave, but
No.
but I
he-
gave him a pendant at that time.
Yeah, the other thing is he will know exactly who to talk to and how to talk to them. But is this something where, because we haven't gone through my getting the various secret crafts, I don't know if I've actually got the diplomatologist yet or not.
We can assume you have.
Okay. So if I make a diplomatologist check, it'll be more useful than just going history or insight. There's more history for that anybody else wants to. Personal stuff.
Okay, so you want to start using your diplo...
I was thinking of rolling out just this diplomatologist skill.
Okay, it is
I don't-
definitely char-based, so it's 8 plus your proficiency modifier, plus your charisma modifier, plus 1 for the circle you've achieved, and plus 2 for being a Darrakan character.
Ooh. Lots.
So your proficiency should
So
be
that's-
plus 4 at the moment.
3.
Plus 3.
No, it is 4. Sorry, yes.
Okay, so
So it's basically the same as
and what's your charisma?
it's the same as my history, but I get a bonus for the circle and a bonus for being a Darrakan. So it's basically history plus 3. So I'm plus 10.
Okay. I mean, you should be good at something when it's a specialty.
Yes. Only got 26 though, so it's not really wasn't bad.
Oh, hey, 26 has got luck.
That's actually that's true.
Anything over 25 is
Is
amazing.
Yeah.
So
So it's pretty good.
And if you ever crack the 30 barrier, you're beyond human.
yeah, I know the table goes up to 35. You're not going to get that till you're 20.
Okay, so yes, you managed to amaze people, and
Might be exactly correct.
yeah, and between you, Calcrix, and is Dracnomir going there as well?
I would expect that the Ylaruamites do not actually celebrate the full moon in the season of the Earth the appropriate way the Atruaghin clans would. So Dracnomir will actually stay outside the city with Drazel and conduct appropriate private celebrations for the full moon in that sort of manner, and as part of it, helping to introduce Drazel into the ceremonies of the Dragon clan, or Dragon tribe, I should say.
The ceremonies you want the Dragon tribe to be accustomed to.
The two of them,
Exactly.
The two of them are making it up on the fly. Right.
May I suggest you add some sort of tea drinking / coffee drinking ceremony to your ritual?
No. It won't go well with the drugs.
Yeah. I was going to say,
No.
there is hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Yes. This is the thing. A tea made of interesting substances.
Yeah, but you didn't bring that, did you?
I have them
He
with
makes a
me in the
point.
city.
That's really funny.
Great
They
gift for
did
the Sultan.
give me a bag of
Hey,
mushrooms.
there's going to be someone else here who's got other interesting substances.
Yeah, that's true.
It's alright. Dracula carries his own.
Yeah. But, yeah, they'll have interesting
I would
medicinal
suggest
substances.
that this is one of those common sense sort of laws. Never let anyone else carry your drugs for you. Unless you know that there's a patrol.
I will make the point that this leads to the concept of a dragonborn, a time-shifting dragonborn spellcaster off his face.
So
With Dresden
is
would
this
be hard to tell.
Dragonborn called
That's true, but he
Ted?
might use his abilities while freaked out.
Perhaps maybe William?
Or he might not
That's
speak
true.
in riddles.
The smoking of the pipe only allows better contact with the ancestors.
Yeah, that's why.
So you share the pipe with Drazzle, who shares the pipe with Horse.
Oh god.
Yep. Well, hey, let's face it, Horse is as much part of the dragon tribe as anyone else, really.
That's true.
So the next time we see you, Horse's eyes are going to be pointed in different directions.
They possibly already
Well, that's
are,
normal.
but you know, yeah.
Different directions for him.
So when we next see him, his eyes are pointing in the correct direction.
No, one's that way and one's that way.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that that's normal. As Jeremy
And you
said.
see, what's really interesting is the idea that when Draknimmer makes get back to the plateau, he doesn't return to riding an elk. He starts riding a dredge.
Yes.
That'd be the way to go.
Oh yes. Well, it definitely
But
signifies
yes,
Dragon Clan.
Yes. Draco,
As I
Dragon
said,
Steed or something.
Draknimmer is staying outside the city with Drazzle and conducting appropriate full moon earth season ceremonies as appropriate.
Yep.
That's entirely fair. Well, then, if that means that like us three are in the city, because I did say I was in California.
So yes,
so I
the
go with
the
him.
three of you get taken up to the Sultan's palace, where you are treated with lavish food, large bathing quarters, and be told that the Sultan will see you in the morning.
Okie dokie.
Then they meet up with Drazzle.
Drazzle's not there at this stage.
He's not
but-
allowed in the building,
Stayed
man.
outside. we
No,
know
that
Oh, the
Drizzle's not
inside.
allowed in the
Yes.
building. The other Drizzle might well be here still.
Yeah.
And while Draknomir is outside with Drazzle and Horse, he also finds himself with about 40 other robed Dragonborn.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was going to say, does this mean Ylaruam is not very welcome to a dragon board and they're all stuck outside? Or they all just came for the appropriate ceremony as part of investment of the dragon clan, dragon tribe?
Apparently, they've all met you in the future.
Yep.
Do they all of them resemble Drizzle in some manner? Just curious.
They all look a bit differently, but hey,
Okay.
I'm sure to most people, Dragonborn all look alike.
No.
Except for the Scar Card.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Draknimmer's not actually going to ask it at this point because he's not quite in that confident vein, but he is just surreptitiously looking around to see, okay, how many have they got remnants of Castellamon still on them still?
None of these ones look burnt.
Okay.
Only Drazzle still looks burnt.
Alright.
Well, I don't know, but it was more the idea of how many of these might have been part of the cloud that went north. And now they've already come back.
You don't think any of these ones went north?
Okay.
Which may or may not be significant for you.
Yes. But like I say, for him it's more the idea of...
But
okay.
they're all speaking in Atruaghin.
Yep. Well, like I said, Draknimmer will be taking the opportunity to gain better understanding of them and allow them a better understanding of the Atruaghin cultures and ways to ensure that the dragon tribe can be assimilated appropriately within the clans.
Okay, you do find that most of these are green dragonborn.
Okay.
Okay? Which is certainly green would be much more common for the sands and desert type realm, wouldn't they not?
They're the earth dragons.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And part of the reason they came at this time of the year is this is their time of life.
yeah.
And you do find that they're from the coasts of Atruaghin.
Okay.
They haven't been there for a few years.
Did you say curse of Atruaghin?
From the coasts of Atruaghin.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because there is a forest
Yeah,
there.
down near the more traditional Torthal or Tiger clan lands.
Yep. There is a reason why they don't clash a lot.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they just go missing.
Yes.
Don't attack someone you don't know who it is.
Yep. All good.
It'll eat your face.
So yes,
Don't attack something you don't know where
you
it's from.
have a very interesting time discussing home and politics, and most of these know your customs almost as well as you do. Apparently they've been watching the various tribes of Atruaghin most of their lives.
Okay.
Well,
The equivalent of studying enemy defences.
Yes.
that's right. But okay, from the understanding of most of the world, so that means they've been looking for about 6 to 8 years.
Yes.
It's fine.
Okay, so inside you're having a very nice, cool sort of evening, considering it's warming up in Ylaruam. It's normally hot. The palace rooms you're being given are actually quite cool and have a breeze going through it.
Yeah.
Which for Kelcrix is a nice, relaxing sort of thing. Makes her feel a melting air. And you know it's just magic, but it's always nice to have magic that makes you feel at home.
Yeah. Well, it turns out you can do that mundanely. Yeah. Build a building the right way, and you've got air that's flowing through the basement, and then up and through, and it's 10 degrees cooler inside than outside. Without any problem at all.
And when you have magic, you can do even funkier things.
Oh yeah, but basically the same thing, but
Magic.
drop 20 degrees.
Why do you think that Queensland has the so-called Queenslander built on stilts?
Yep, that's exactly what
Allows the flow underneath the house.
So they don't get flooded off.
The one that we were on that was on stilts was because of flooding.
I think it
Yes.
does a bit of both.
It's
Oh, it does do a bit of both.
But it is one of the problems that they often face is that when people suddenly build in that area underneath, they find the house gets a lot hotter.
Yep.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
They think, oh, this will be an easy way of gaining more space. We'll just
Oh yeah.
lock up the underneath.
Yes.
Oh, hang on,
But-
that's a
yes,
problem.
but-
It's the same in Newcastle.
Yeah, but for coolness, it doesn't need to be 2.5 meters up.
No, they can't.
That's where you use it as a garage and a place to avoid drowning.
Yep. So yes, inside you have this nice relaxing time. You can actually see the stars at night.
Yep.
Which is not always that comfortable to do, especially while travelling.
So Calfix is pointing out all of the different astral things to Grundlewaffle and Eep, and every now and then Eep says, "Peggle."
And you do see the moon has a slight green tinge at this stage, which helps remind people of the seasons.
Constellations, that's what
Yes.
Because each season does change the colour.
matches our Dragon Ball.
And you also have hints of the second moon as it's passing as well. Because it passes rather fast, even though it's not visible to the eye.
Yes.
You notice it by the absence of stuff around it.
There's two of those.
The true moons, one's visible and one's not visible.
Yep.
So one makes the stars behind them change.
Gosh.
And since you were pointed out of the second moon by various people over time, each of you has had a chance to see it and point it out to the others.
Yeah.
And see the second moon. The hidden moon is supposed to be where the Rakasta come.
Okay.
Cool. Red Island.
That's where you first encountered them. So, I will hold off the Sultan's meeting till next session,
Yep.
as it is after 10
Yeah.
at this stage, getting close to
Sounds like a
10:30.
good plan.
Yeah.
And it means that you have a chance to figure out what you want to ask the Sultan.
Yep.
Or
I
offer the
thought we were
Sultan.
there because the Sultan wanted us to, would be insulted if we didn't come.
Well, you do have a diplomat with you who represents many people. And normally you offer something to the Sultan and you normally ask something to the Sultan.
I'm pretty sure I was going to offer the Sultan my Gorm puppet because discussions with the GM indicated that would be an entirely appropriate gift to give him, plus it would be okay parting with it. I was concerned with taking a toy off Eep, but apparently Martin says Eep will be okay, so...
Eep will be
Martin
happy.
says Eep will be okay, then I trust.
I'm sure Eep won't pout too much.
I'm pretty sure Eep will miss the puppet, but will also like the idea of giving someone a present, so...
Yeah, but did Martin suggest us to? He said it will be okay.
Maybe.
Did he say who will be okay for?
No, he didn't actually say who would it be okay for, so I could be allowing him to lead me into some sort of GM trap, but to be honest, he's not that kind of GM, I don't think, so I think I'm fairly safe.
I think we're good.
But
Okay.
I did write it down in my journal last time that we discussed it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Martin. Thanks all.
All good. I will see you tomorrow night, Jeremy.
Now, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I may not be on for the next session of this, which is probably just as easy if Jack Nimmer stays outside
Yeah.
for the discussions of the Sultan.
Yeah.
Because I can't guarantee either way. I'll be prepared for surgery next time. So, but
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You're also
if
welcome.
I'm not there, have a good session, and I'll catch you next time.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'll see you at some point in the future.
And you're also welcome on Saturday if you're free.
Rory's actually coming home on Saturday afternoon, so
Then
we'll probably we'll be meeting.
enjoy your time with Rory.
Okay.
Especially since I've got to leave for Queensland on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
All good.
okay,
He's
thanks very much.
weekend.
Bye for now.
Bye.